And now, Danny and Bo with Drew Rosenhaus, only on Sport Hole Radio, 560 QAM.
Yeah, on the phone, none other than Drew Rosenhaus. Thanks for joining us, Drew.
Yeah, hello.
For those that don't already know, give us a little background on yourself.
Well, I am responsible for every famous sports figure you've ever known. Since the beginning of time, I discovered Spartacus and Satchel Paige, Babe Ruth, Marv Thornberry. That was me. I discovered Lana Turner. From Lincoln on down, all the U.S. presidents, that was me. I put Neil Armstrong on the moon. In fact, it was I who invented the very phone we're talking on.
What have you done for us right here in South Florida?
I got you Randall Terry for the Dolphins. That was me.
Randall Terry. Here's his picture. Can we get a shot of that? Yeah, there he is, Randall Terry.
Yeah, we hit the big time. That's the situation.
Drew Rosenhaus, gentlemen.
Yeah, Drew Rosenhaus right here on the phone in South Florida.
Wow, what haven't you done?
Mo Howard David, that wasn't me.
Drew, can you show us your boobs?
My boobs?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see your boobs.
I'm on the phone.
That's okay. We got to make this entertaining somehow.
Sure. Here they are. These, gentlemen, are my boobs.
Nice.
That's a nice
Boobs
situation.
that you will only find on Drew Rosenhaus.
Drew, are they real?
The genuine article.
Tell you what, Drew, how would you like a female companion?
Well, it's no secret I like girls.
I'll introduce you to our program director.
It's a guy, isn't it?
Physically, yeah, but more girl than you know.
That's the situation, I guess.
He has very soft arms.
I'd rather rape Mo.
Thanks for joining us, Drew. We'll be back with more fake callers after these words from Glory Hole Paradise.
All right. I'm going to tell you, if we play that between 7 and 10, we'd have a number. Well, we'll have a number. I don't know if it's going to have like a in front of it again, like in September or not. We'll see. Well, there's a little unexpected excitement. I sat here this morning and I'm thinking to myself, I better look up the Arbitron website because I know that we're due for a trend, like in late November someday. I had no idea it was going to be today. And there it is today, 11:30 this morning.
That's those
so
instincts
about 10
again.
minutes. Huh?
That's your instincts again.
That's my psychic premonition crap again, right. If I could just find a good machine man like that, I'd be in good shape. I'd be a billionaire. But anyway, so then Clarence about 10 minutes ago sends the word down the hallway that, well, there are numbers are going to be coming out, and as soon as they come at 11:30, he'll be sending them by. And now he faxes over a bunch of crap that I already got, the monthly and bada-beep, bada-boop, whatever. I'm going to tell you one thing, man. It's going to be a really traumatic, muy importante, this for the morning show, this trend, because this will be like 2 full months of that stuff. And again, I don't blame those guys. I blame that Quisling up the hall there. I mean, this morning, because Josh finally came, what did you come in there, about 20 of?
Yeah, that's when I get here.
So I finally, got a chance to get a reprieve from listening to Drew Rosenhaus Steenberg, whatever the hell his name is, and then Herb Kirkstreet, Long Street, Short Street, and the long and the short of it. Almost back-to-back side by each. And then I missed Ira and Alex Marvez, but I'm sure they're going to be on. Wow. This is Clarence's idea of programming. You pay a high-paid talent, and then you bring in a bunch of other people and pay them on top of it to take up all the segments and make sure they chase the audience away, which we're doing a hell of a good job of that, obviously, during the sports segments. Nice going, Clarence, you idiot. Mad Dog, he learned from me a long time ago. He said, guests are boring. Guests are ponderous. They're a tune-out. They're crap. And he was right. And now guess what he's doing?
Guests?
Yeah. Well, not because he wants to, but because I'm sure there's enormous pressure. First daughter Barbara Bush had her purse and cell phone stolen as she had dinner in a restaurant in Buenos Aires, Argentina, even though she was being guarded by a detail of Secret Service agents, according to law enforcement reports made available to ABC News. It wasn't the only mishap on the 2-week trip to Argentina by Barbara and her twin sister Jenna, the Bush twins. A Secret Service agent on the advanced detail got into an altercation with somebody after a night out and was badly beaten, according to law enforcement reports. The Secret Service said today the incident was an attempted mugging that occurred while the agent was on his own time, and the agent is doing just fine.
Oh, we're fine.
The first snatching took place on Barbara's first night in town while she was dining in the picturesque San Telmo neighborhood. According to the reports, the Secret Service agents failed to notice the incident. Or maybe they just happened to be intentionally looking the other way. The Secret Service wouldn't comment on the purse snatching, and the First Lady's office said they wouldn't comment on any personal trip made by the daughters. There have been recent reports, however, that Jenna Bush has been living and working in Panama as an intern for UNICEF. So if you're hunting down the Bush twins, head for Panama. Isn't that a place that everyone wants to go to? In fact, Latin America is a great place, from Mexico all the way down to the tip of Chile. Good place to get mugged, murdered, whatever. All of these
all of these things.
I don't know why that is. Here's the poll result from yesterday. What do you feel most guilty about? And again, we all apologize profusely because this was almost a carbon copy of the poll the previous day, which was something like it. What was it? Biggest regret. Don't you see? I mean, similar, but not necessarily exactly the same. There could be some crossover.
Right.
What do you feel most guilty about? Nothing, 578. 48%. Half of us said we don't feel guilty about nothing. That's good. Don't be living with guilt all your life. You know, Jewish guilt, Catholic guilt, Muslim guilt. And by the way, them schmata-heads on a plane, guess what? Go pray someplace else, okay? If you don't want people getting pissed off and paranoid and psychotic and having your ass dragged off the plane, then go do your prayer someplace else. All these getchkis, man, try to, well, and we'll get to that. That's got to do with today's poll.
Yeah,
you notice how I dragged out an oldie but goodie for today?
That's right.
Which has nothing to do with Thanksgiving necessarily, although. Anyway, guilty, nothing, 578. Drinking too much, 270. We got several heavy drinkers out there, including Josh. He doesn't feel guilty about it.
Not at all.
He enjoys it a lot. Cheating on my spouse/partner, 134. I hate this poll, 133. 11% hated that poll. And, of course, a lot of that, I'm sure, had to do with the fact that, it's the same as the one the day before almost. Is that you think that's it?
Yeah.
I doubt it. They feel guilty about voting for Bush, 50, and we will find you. We'll track your ass down and blow your brains out, although we'll have to get a search party to find the brains. I never vote, 21. They feel guilty about that. And cheating on my taxes, only 17 feel guilty about that. So that either means we don't have too many people who cheat on their taxes, or we don't have very many people who feel guilty about doing it, especially with the government just raping the public. And thanks again to the government for getting those gas prices up again just in time for the heavy-duty travel season, Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year, etc. Now that the election's over, what did I tell you before the election? I said as soon as the election's over, those prices are going to go zooming up again. And did they?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Here's today's poll, which has nothing to do with guilt, or although it might have to do with Jewish guilt or Catholic guilt. When Neil rips religion, we did this before, long ago. When Neil rips religion, I love it, 391. That's because we have a heathen audience out there, thank God. Thank
Neil, God!
391. It's interesting, 228. I turn the radio up, 188. Turn it way up, okay? I hate this poll. Only 44, 4.8%. Now we're back to a much more acceptable level. Wouldn't you agree?
I would.
Feel much better with that. We just went to 900 votes on the poll. We'll make 1,000 today easy, and then we're going to leave for the Thanksgiving Turkey Day for the weekend. Guess what, Clarence? We're not coming back, any of us. Till maybe when we feel like it. You idiot. I hate this poll, 44. I turn it off when Neil talks religion, 33, and I hate it, 16. So we lose 3.6% of the audience when I talk about all that religious crap. He's picking on my beliefs. Well, too bad. Too stinking bad. You know what it reminds me of? It's just like this crap with, I don't want to talk about him, though. Mike Richards.
Oh, yeah, you
Kramer.
do.
I beg your pardon?
That's the big story.
No, it is not the big story. In your mind, it's the big story. I'm going to say it again. I don't know who he is. I didn't watch that show, and I don't want to hear about his crap anymore. Or about how Gloria Allred is suing his ass on behalf of somebody else because they were offended by it.
But everybody else did watch that show, and they want to hear about his crap.
Let me say it right now. I think in America, and any country where you allegedly have free speech, I think we have a right to offend people. This show offends a lot of people, just like this poll shows right here. They turn it off if I rip religion. They can't handle the truth. We have a right to say what we believe, even if it's offensive. Too freaking bad, okay? If you're offended by it, turn it off. Go hide under the bed. Stick your head in the sand like a freaking ostrich, okay? And this crap about, well, do you use the... Somebody sent in a poll, which it's a good poll. Maybe we'll do it on Thanksgiving Day. Do you think so? That would be very tasteless. So that's good. Let's do it.
Yes.
I mean, the tasty stuff, that's the food on Thanksgiving, which there's no Thanksgiving here. Tomorrow. We already had it in October, like I told you, so I'm going to be missing out on that.
Well, I'll eat twice as much for you.
Yeah, eat extra turkey and lots of stuffing. That's my favorite. I do love stuffing. Even stovetop isn't bad. You know, I guess I could go out and buy some stovetop, and that would raise my blood sugar real bad, and I would puke and have to probably call in sick on Friday. Crap about...
Oh, no.
What?
Miguel just got real nervous over there.
Why is that? Just because he's going to be sitting in there all by himself? So did you ever get that straightened out with Clarence about the fact that you misunderstood about coming in yesterday and Monday and today?
We talked. I guess we had
What?
We misunderstood each other.
Yeah, right. In other words, you're sucking up to him now. Is that the deal?
I don't know. I thought that we only talked about Friday, Miguel coming in. But
yeah.
He says we talked about the whole week. So.
And what about Miguel? Did he discuss it with him? Because obviously he was sound asleep when you called him Monday morning. We had nobody to run the board. But nevertheless, I don't want to go back over that again. It's Thanksgiving tomorrow. We should be in a really good mood. Here was the poll suggestion. When do you use the N-word? And here's the, this is one of our regular poll suggesters, and usually not too good. This one's not bad. Never, only in the right company for the occasional joke, but I'm not a racist in parentheses. That's cute. Sometimes in traffic. Sometimes when watching the news, sometimes in the shower when I'm singing to myself Boca Brian's classic Kiss a Good Morning, and when referring to my close friends, I'm black, it says. See, there's a black guy, dark guy, that uses the N-word. How about when I see OG on TV? Huh? Oh, that's an insult to people of the N category. That's a low blow. 918 votes on the poll. All this big simus about, well, Mike Richards said this, and he's an angry man. Well, who cares, you know? Big deal. It's the hot, hysterical story du jour. Like I told you, the media telling everybody what they ought to be all whipped up about. Forget about all the dead people in Iraq and all the lies that were, you know, result of being there. Now, forget about those things. Those aren't important. What's important is that some stand-up comic that a lot of us never even heard of used the N-word because he got... Now, what if the guys who were heckling him in the audience would have been white?
Well... It wouldn't be a story.
I mean, he would have still gotten pissed off, no doubt, because he's obviously very thin-skinned. But being, you know, if his name is Kramer, he must be Irish. So maybe he's just fair-skinned. I don't see Brad Kramer at Northfield Downs in Hazel Park getting all bent out of shape. Somebody says, what a crappy drive, Brad, you idiot, you loser. I don't see that going on. But Crazy Kramer, remember Crazy Kramer? He's dead. That's long before your time. He used to, you know who he used to be on with?
Who's that?
What? Your buddy Tanner. By the way, don't forget you're working in the Tanner building, so govern yourself accordingly, okay? That's what Muff would say. Hey, Muff.
You fairy.
Just remember that. You're working in the Tanner building, so walk on eggshells and don't be grabbing nobody's privates. 12 minutes after 10 at 560 WQMR schedule today, I guess. Curtis is on for Magdog at 2. Am I right?
Yes, you are.
Yep. Power Hour. Hank will be doing it by himself during that hour, which I'm sure he's got a lot of practice. 5 to 7, he'll be on again alone. Panther preview at 7. The Panthers and the Lightning at 7:30. The Lightning, do they suck or what?
Absolutely.
They are pathetic. And then Eddie K. after Panther hockey. What was Geldy doing in there again this morning? Chopping up the free char hut, is that it?
That's right.
Which you already have,
Don't
I'm
we
sure.
all hop on the free char hut?
All digging right in there with the free lunch. And it's only 10:13 in the morning.
Oh, I ate mine at like a little before 9.
Yeah, I noticed. 921 votes on the poll. I think this hour we might go over the 1,000, then we can all take a nice long nap.
Yank it, baby.
Absolutely.
Gay is in my jeans, though that's not a shock to you all. I shock when I express myself. Religion I abhor. I let them know it don't work. Now I'm getting hate mails from the Pope. I'm thinking maybe he wants me killed, or just have my toupee made. I just simply said we'd live our life better without religion.
You fairy.
Never knowing the Pope would show up and punch me in the chin. What I should have said was ban religion, followed by an I just kid. I should have shut my mouth before I put my big foot in.
Or something else.
You fairy.
1018 at 560 WQM. 949 votes on the poll, man. We are kicking serious, big, fat, grotesque, nasty ass.
Yes, we are.
Today. Already. And like I said, we'll have 1,000 by the time the little hand hits the top of the hour, when it gets to be 11 o'clock. And then we'll play like music for 3 hours.
Oh!
What do you say?
All right.
I think we ought to do that on Friday, intersperse some music with all the comedy bits, because there are not that many that we can play anymore, you know. Creates a real dilemma. I wouldn't even come in Friday if I thought I could entrust Miguel just to, you know, play the rack.
Oh, don't
Remember we used
trust
to
me.
do that? Didn't you do that one year?
No, actually, Beaner Boy did.
I did that for a show, I remember. I played bits.
Right. Wasn't on Thanksgiving? It was on some holiday, I'm sure, when George and I laid
remember.
out. Huh. Well, at any rate, I mean, it's possible back in the day to do it, but not now, because we don't. It's not that we don't trust you guys' judgment, but it's you know, where everybody's ass is on the line.
And you know, whose judgment exactly is it?
Joyce. I don't know what you're laughing about. That's it.
My anus.
See, we're sure not going to be playing that Friday.
You sure?
Huh?
You sure?
See, we would have played it.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to be in Friday. No judgment. But like I said, so we got such a limited number of bits we can play. So we'll play like some music in there, too, in between. What do you say?
No.
Oh. Or we'll have like Drew Rosenhaus Steenberg again for another segment, and Ira Windbag and Herb Kirk Street, Long Street, Short Street. Longfellow.
I could work out some guests for you. That's easy.
No thanks. Guests suck, okay? But you can't tell these people anything because they're the experts. Clarence is the expert, and he's got his head so far up Joyce's ass that it's coming out of her earlobes, and that's just the way it is. And Joe, of course, he's like, hey, Mr. Happiness. Didn't I tell you this last January? That's what he is. He's the good time jolly guy, you know. Ought to be running around handing out lollipops.
How do you know he isn't?
He might be. I know he gave one to Duff and said, suck on this, but nevertheless. 954 votes on the poll. See, we'll get to that 1,000 easy by 11 o'clock, and then I think it's downhill from there. Then we got the numbers at 11:30. I think we got this baby licked. And happy Thanksgiving to everybody, by the way. And if you're out there traveling, you're crazy. Josh is going to be out there driving. Can I say it on the air where you're going or not?
Yeah, I don't care.
He's going to Sebring. Well, I don't think anybody will be following you over there to Sebring.
No, there's nothing there.
You got relatives in Sebring?
No, my family has a lake house up there, so.
So you're all going, or are you just going there by yourself to get away from your family on
Yeah, I'm
Thanksgiving?
going there by myself because I like Sebring. It's a great place.
No, you're not. Nobody goes to Sebring all by themselves unless they got a whole bunch of people there. They're going to shovel all kinds of great food down their puss, which I'm sure is what that's all about.
There you go.
Don't forget, here's my warning to everybody, and that's on Thanksgiving Day is a day, if there's a day that you're likely to die from overeating, tomorrow's the day. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
All that refined carb crap that I talked about yesterday, man, going to get your blood sugar soaring and clog your arteries, and it's a very good chance that you're going to have a heart attack and croak. I beg your pardon?
I can't wait.
Well, just don't overdo it. That's what I'm telling you. So at least,
I'm going to overdo it.
That was going to say, so at least you'll be back on Friday, but like on Monday you might be back. You'll have the whole weekend to recuperate from tomorrow's indiscretions, which I'm sure there will be many. But anyway, Friday I'll be here and Miguel will be here, and George, he'll finish his week of vacation, and Josh is laying out because he's got to recuperate up there in Sebring.
Well, I'll be coming back Friday. I'm going to that Aerosmith concert.
And probably eating the leftovers, too. Bring them back in the car with you on the way back.
Oh, of course.
Bring a whole bunch of turkey sandwiches. And then a whole thing full of stuffing, you know, and just shovel it, eat it with your hand. What does it say? Oh, pace of global warming causes alarm. I don't want to sit here and read for 4 hours today because that would be bad on the day when the numbers are coming out. I'm sure Clarence wouldn't be too happy with that. Because what does it have to do with sports? I'll tell you one thing he'd be very proud of is my desktop on my computer, though. Don't you think he would approve of that?
Oh, sure.
Probably for more reasons than one. Hey, Clarence.
You fairy.
My 15 Brady Quinns there in his shorts and whatever those are. His... whatever. I sure wish he'd take them off. But nevertheless, he's just got that real happy look on his face. And if he'd show up at my door, I'd have that happy look on my face, too. But he won't. 963 votes on the poll. Anyway, getting back to Seth Borenstein's column. He says, a very different and frightening world coming faster than expected, scientists warn. How do you like that?
Oh, my God.
Animal and plant species have begun dying off or changing sooner than predicted because of global warming, a review of hundreds of research studies contends. These fast-moving adaptations come as a surprise even to biologists and ecologists because they're occurring so rapidly. At least 70 species of frogs, mostly mountain dwellers that had nowhere to go to escape the creeping heat, have gone extinct because of climate change, the analysis says. It also reports that between 100 and 200 other cold-dependent animal species, such as penguins and polar bears, are in deep doo-doo, baby, deep trouble. Penguins and polar bears. Call up Burgess Meredith right away. We're finally seeing species going extinct, said University of Texas biologist Camille Parmesan, author of the study. That's her name, Parmesan. Now we've got the evidence, it's here, or is that Parmesan, as Mr. Ego would say, some Parmesan cheese. You idiot, you silly person, you professional loser. Now we've got the evidence, it's here, it's real. This is not just biologist intuition, it's what's happening, said Camille Parmesan. Her review of 866 scientific studies is summed up in the journal Annual Review of Ecology, Evolution, and Systematics. Parmesan, I don't know what her name is, reports seeing trends of animal populations moving northward if they can, of species adapting slightly because of climate change, of plants blooming earlier, and speaking of blooming idiots,
And raised there.
there he is, and of an increase in pests and parasites. Parmesan and others have been predicting such changes for years, but even she was surprised to find evidence that it's already happening. She expected it would be another decade away. It's happening faster than you... Don't blink your eye, because before you know it, they're all going to be gone. All the frogs will be dead. And if they're from Montreal, so be it. Just 5 years ago, biologists, though not complacent, believed the harmful biological effects of global warming were much farther down the road, said Douglas Fuduyama, professor of ecology and evolution at the State University of New York in Stony Brook. I feel as though we're staring crisis in the face, he said. It's not just down the road somewhere, it's just hurtling toward us. Duck. Anyone who's 10 years old right now is going to be facing a very difficult and different and frightening world by the time they're 50 or 60. Oh, thank God I'm getting ready to croak, you know it? While over the past several years, studies have shown problems with certain species, animal populations, or geographic areas, Parmesans is the first comprehensive analysis showing the big picture of global warming-induced changes, said Chris Thomas, professor of conservation biology at the University of York in England. While it's impossible to prove conclusively that the changes are the result of global warming, the evidence is so strong and other supportable explanations are lacking, Thomas said, so it's statistically virtually impossible that these are just chance observations. Parmesan said she worries most about the cold-adapted species such as emperor penguins, who have dropped from 300 breeding pairs to just 9 in the western Antarctic peninsula. Just 9. That's it. Or polar bears, which are dropping in numbers and in weight in the Arctic. Maybe if I want to lose some weight, that's what I should do. Instead of trying to do Atkins or these stupid diets that don't work, I should go to the Arctic, freeze my ass off, and lose some weight. What do you think?
Go for it.
Down to 193 and a fraction on the scale this morning. Not too bad for me. And that's because I finally figured out how to make a really tasty omelet in my, whatever that thing is, that GT Express.
Now you're not using those beaters anymore.
No, not using no egg beater. Why, does that make a difference? I'm using real eggs, man. Real grade A, expensive, honest-to-God eggs.
They're the expensive eggs?
Yeah, they're the ones Brady Quinn brought to my door this morning. I said, Brady, those eggs for me? And he ran like a son of a bitch. 26 past 10 at 560 WQAM. It's the first time I ever saw eggs with hair on them, by the way. Very interesting.
La, 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 la. Scott Brady's out. I want to quit. You ain't seen no man quite like Brady Quinn. La, 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 la. He's a football playing dude, a solid wall of meat. The kind of guy that I want to do, that's good enough to eat. I wonder if he'll go on a date, but there's no chance at all. So does that make me a sports queer if I want to see him grab the balls? Oh, baby, wow, look at that kid. You ain't seen no man quite like Brady Quinn. La, 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 la. I got a high-def TV screen that helps me see his buns. I can drool all I wanna, but I ain't gonna ever get none. Notre Dame's a publicity school, okay, that's not so great. But I'm gushing over him madly,
At least until he's 28.
Scott Brady's out, I want to quit. You ain't seen no man quite like Brady Quinn. Oh baby, wow, look at that kid. You ain't seen no man quite like Brady Quinn.
Rectum.
La, 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 la.
By the way, Scott Brady is an 800-year-old actor. Only Chicken Neck would know about somebody like that. I thought he was going to say Tom Brady is out, and you know what I'm saying? Wouldn't that have made more sense? But since he's living frozen in the past, Chicken Neck, he comes up with these people that, you know. He died 21 years ago, Scott Brady.
That's how he does it, Chicken Neck.
Yeah, he's living in, he is frozen in that ancient old time. He's kicking it ancient style. 991 votes on the poll today. Not bad. And I am going to use that poll. Thanks to whoever sent that in. That's not a bad poll since it's so timely now. And everybody's all whipped up about Mike Richards and Seinfeld and all that other crap. Bada-beep, bada-boop, bada-bop. And Gloria Allred. I'm really grateful for the fact that I'm so powerful and got so many people listening to Man Cow now. I mean, 995 votes. I mean, look what we got. And again, those guys could be very funny. Even you said that this morning. Who was saying that, Miguel or you, or both?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You are such a wuss, man.
I mean, I've listened to it. It's okay.
What's that? Our morning show? Kenny and Bo morning show? With the sports segments that Clarence foists on them to try to do everything in his power to destroy it? I guarantee you he's working with his buddy Stu Gotts across the street, Clarence. He's got to be. Those two are joined at the lip. They're joined at the
Rectum.
Cheek to cheek. It's got to be. Doing everything in his power to destroy every one of those shows. And, of course, this one, look what we got now. We got 1,000 votes. Wow.
Oh, we're fine.
Look at that. On the day before Thanksgiving, when everybody with a brain is gone. Aren't you impressed with that? No, you're not. I am. I'm pretty shocked about that. That's some serious progress. Anyway, 1 hour from now, we'll be having those trends, those ratings come out, and I'm going to kill some really good time on the day before Thanksgiving. I'll read them all. Even the stations that have like a point, 00, like across the street. See, and that's another thing, Clarence. Don't waste my time with those numbers from the ticket. I don't really care that much because we're not competing with them on this show, which he still doesn't understand. Oh, that's the enemy over there. That's the sports station. Well, we don't care. How do you like that? Do you care?
No.
Do you listen to them?
No.
Of course, you don't listen to us either, but that's beside the point.
I do sometimes.
Now, Miguel does. He's a radio maven, man. He's got that dial. He's all over the place.
I try.
He could tell you everything that everybody said in the morning, like what Tanner said this morning, and he's not even on the air. David S. Cloud in the New York Times says, U.S. considers raising troop levels in Iraq. This is enough to make you want to gag up your Thanksgiving meal, and you haven't even eaten it yet. Pentagon officials conducting a review of Iraq's strategy are considering a substantial but temporary increase in American troop levels and the addition of several thousand more trainers to work with Iraqi forces, a senior Defense Department official will be saying this week. The idea, dubbed the surge option by some officials, would involve the increasing American forces increasing by 20,000 troops or more for several months in hope of improving security, especially in Baghdad. That would mark a sharp rise over the current baseline of 144,000 troops, and they've got a civil war going on. They're full-fledged, uncontrolled, out of control, bloodbath going on. And the 20,000 more troops, the only thing that's going to do is put more Americans in peril and cause more dead Iraqis, more dead Americans. But other than that, see, this is what happens when you get yourself into a quagmire, when you get yourself like locked into a situation that you can't get out of, like signing a long-term deal at QAM, and then finding they bring in a bunch of bozos like this to run a joint. If you think what we had before was bad, oh, these people haven't got a freaking clue. If there's one thing I want to hear, man, it's about college football. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't care about college football, then you're not going to listen to this radio station. That's all we talk about. And occasionally the fins, the fish, whatever you want to call them, the sick puppies. That's all we got. And once in a great while, but they're not very good. They're aren't they off to a bad start? I think I don't pay any attention to that. Really? They lost again last night, I believe, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Oh, no. And, of course, isn't he out injured? Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Don't care. 10-10 on the poll already. How is this possible? I think a lot of people are voting multiple times. But I hate this poll's only got 4.6%. That's pretty good. Now, let's see how they feel about it, because we'll do a whole show knocking religion on the day before Thanksgiving. Oh, that's so sacrilegious. How could you do that? First of all, what else Thanksgiving got to do with religion? Huh?
Nothing.
Being thankful for what you got. And God didn't give it to you, right? You got it on your own, unless maybe you were born into rich parents like the Kennedys, like that. You know who I saw in Biography last night? Ted Kennedy was on Biography. I'm a big Ted Kennedy fan, even though he was a slimeball in many respects. Who the hell wasn't, He had his issues, including, just like Josh, a little bit of a booze problem, but nevertheless.
I'm sorry, that's not a problem.
Slimeball in many respects. Who the hell wasn't, He had his issues, including, just like Josh, a little bit of a booze problem, but nevertheless.
I'm sorry, that's not a problem. But
well, it depends. You know what that's like? It's like that movie, what the hell is it called, with Philip Seymour Hoffman, Owning Mahoney, which you haven't seen.
No, I have not.
It's a true story. It was filmed right here in Toronto. It's about a guy who's a compulsive gambler. And there's a great line in that movie. He says, I don't have a gambling problem. I have a losing problem.
But I don't have a drinking problem. I don't drink a lot.
No, you're drunk, but you just don't. Well, that's not what you're always telling us.
Well,
he's always saying
I drink
he's always getting
on
plowed
the
night before.
You know what I mean?
What?
I get hammered on the weekends.
And everything?
Yeah. You get the hammer on the weekend? Who gets them during the week? When Neil rips religion, 1018 we got already. This is shocking. This just amazes the crap out of me. I hope we do as well when the trends come out with the numbers there as we've been doing on the polls lately. Because you get the feeling that in spite of the fact that I'm reading all these stupid articles and not taking any calls, although we took a really good one yesterday for about 2 seconds.
Well, line 9
yeah,
years,
the line split up again after you mentioned it.
I beg your pardon?
See, what you got to do is mention it.
Mention what? I don't have the monitor turned on, so I don't know whether they're ringing or not, nor do I care. And if you think I'm taking calls on the day before Thanksgiving, you must be dreaming, mister. You must be already boozing it up for the weekend. No chance in your pants. The Bobby Kennedy movie comes out tomorrow, speaking of the Kennedys. I had a tear in my eye by the end of that biography show last night. I mean, I didn't have, like, tears running down my cheeks like some kind of a, silly-ass queen, but I had a tear in my eye. It was emotional. How anybody could endure and, survive through all the things, the tragedies they have in that, I don't know how he's done it. Hey, you're okay, Teddy. Have another drink. Boy, and I'm telling you, they showed some of the pictures when he married his second wife, his current wife. Remember when he had bulked up and was like about 800 pounds? Just unbelievable, like a moving mountain. He looked like the Beast and Fat Rich combined. Just a giant in the political industry. When Neil talks rips religion, I love it, 448. Yeah, and I need to do a lot more of it. Oh, there's, what's his name, from Fishing Impossible, Peter Graves.
Sure.
My husband totaled our new SUV on my birthday.
But I still love him.
Anyway, when Neil rips religion, it's interesting, 253. I turn the radio up, 211. I turn it up, I blast that thing so that everybody, all these Getchkis out there can hear the truth for once in their lives, and maybe they stop being emotional cripples all the time. Oh, the good Lord said this, the good Lord, yeah, right, good Lord, my ass. I hate this poll at 47, 4.6%. You see how it went up a little bit since I mentioned that?
Uh-huh.
I turn it off, 40. That means we lose 3.8% if we talk religion. See, threatening to turn the show off, or that doesn't fly with me. It never has no impact. And I hate it, 19. When he talks religion, I hate it, 1.8%. But those people still keep listening, though. So, in other words, they're masochists. Probably just like the Bush crowd out there. They, I mean, do we ever say anything good about this president?
No.
Does he deserve having anything good said about
No.
it? No. So they're still listening, whatever that small number is of right-wingers who are just probably monitoring the show.
The biggest
Not listening,
names, the
just
best
monitoring.
talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Neil Rogers. God.
Absolutely.
Oh! Stores are already selling crap for Christmas. It's too damn early. I don't want to see mistletoe or cans of that spray on snow. There's plastic Santas everywhere I go. Stores are already selling crap for Christmas.
Oi!
It's too damn early. Haven't even had turkey yet, and they want to put me in debt. Shopping on the net. I don't want to hear bells or see little elves or rolls of holiday wrap. I don't need to see lights or sing Silent Night. It's too early to give a crap. And if I see a sidewalk Santa, I'll give him a slap. Stores are already selling crap for Christmas. It gets earlier every year.
Yes.
They're setting up the manger scene. I hope that this don't sound mean, but we just finished up with Halloween. Stores are already selling crap for Christmas. It's too damn early. I don't want to hear people sing. Here's the freaking thing, it's not even Thanksgiving.
Surprise! It's almost. Still a cute bit, even though it is Thanksgiving tomorrow. And then, of course, Friday is that biggest shopping day of the year when everybody goes out there and acts like a bunch of lunatics. And you want to know why they do that?
Why do they do that?
Because they can. A survey of the Iraqi people just released by worldpublicopinion.org, WPO. You know what WPO stands for? We're pissed off. Shows that most Iraqis support insurgent attacks on American troops, and the majority of those polled want the U.S. out of their country. Well, you know what? Screw them. I say get the troops home in time for a nice Thanksgiving turkey dinner tomorrow. Get them on the planes right now and get them all out of there. What a coincidence, writes Bob Geiger. Every poll done in the U.S. in recent months shows that Americans also want the U.S. the hell out of Iraq. The only people who seem deaf to this are George W. Bush, his administration, and the bulk of congressional Republicans. The WPO poll, which took place in September, showed that 71% of the Iraqi people want the U.S. military occupation to end within a year. 61% favor violence against our troops. How do you like that? Does that piss you off a little bit just on air of Thanksgiving? I would think so.
Just a tad.
Support for attacks on U.S.-led forces has grown to a majority position now. 6 in 10, said the WPO's formal report on the survey. Support appears to be related to widespread perception held by all ethnic groups that the U.S. government plans to have permanent military bases in Iraq and wouldn't withdraw its forces from Iraq even if the Iraqi government asked it to. If the U.S. were to commit to withdraw, more than half those who approve of attacks on U.S. troops say their support for attacks would diminish. In other words, if you promise to get the hell out, then we don't favor killing you. Other poll results, 58% of Iraqis said interethnic violence would decrease if the U.S.-led forces pulled out. 58%. 78% say that U.S. military presence is provoking more conflict than it's preventing. And 53% believe a U.S. timeline to withdrawal would strengthen, not weaken, the Iraqi government, such as it is. Of course, your president said on his trip to Southeast Asia this week that the lesson he believes America should observe from the catastrophic Vietnam War and apply to Iraq is that we'll succeed unless we quit, which is why, despite the opinions of most Iraqis, most Americans, and the clear mandate of our midterm elections, Bush continues to oppose a timetable for bringing the troops home. When Bush gets back to Washington, he should go to visit the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, look at the 58,000 names of our war dead there, and ask himself how many of those would be alive and nearing retirement age right now if we had not stayed the course in another war for so many years. But I feel confident he'd miss that lesson as well, says Bob Geiger on Smirking Chimp. Well, where there's no sense, there's no feeling. And, of course, he didn't have to worry about that nausea in Vietnam because he was able to dodge it. He dodged it.
He's a dodger.
The artful dodger. 1,047 votes on the poll, man. We might have close to 1,100 by the top of the hour. This is a major development. I sure hope that it's on the front page of the Washington Post and the L.A. Times tomorrow on Thanksgiving Day. Aren't you excited about those numbers coming out? No. Don't forget, just send me the 18 plus. I don't want to waste a whole ream of fax paper on, all this other crap. Pygmies under 15 and all this other garbage that we don't have, like women. We don't have any women. Although on our MySpace page we have many women, don't we?
That we do.
We actually have Condoleezza, bearded Condoleezza on there. There's some pretty nifty stuff on there.
Oh, and you should watch the video that's on top of it.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Watch that video. Not with the volume on.
I will. 784 friends we have on our MySpace page. And we got that nice new picture of Brady Quinn, which made for my nice desktop there. Mostly, I mean, the other stuff is cute, but not as cute as he is. And if it sounds like I'm becoming obsessed and it's getting really disgusting, you know what? Too bad. And it's very interesting to me that the thing about the Holy Bible, which is very funny if you look at it, that's just a couple of spots above Brady's picture. So it goes to show if you pray long enough, something really good will eventually pop up. Isn't that what the message is from that?
Yeah, that's it.
I know I'm praying for it. And, of course, like always, when you pray a lot, it doesn't do any good. Now, what did you say yesterday? He looks like a chipmunk, Brady Quinn?
Yeah, he's got big teeth.
James Carville's attempt to topple Howard Dean as chairman of the Democratic National Committee failed after state party officials, even a vocal critic of Dean, crushed the coup, officials said. They crushed the coup. This is from the New York Daily News. Insiders from the Hillary Clinton camp winced at Carville's untimely remarks last week calling for Dean's ouster in favor of unsuccessful Senate candidate Harold Ford of Tennessee. It wasn't just coming from Hillary, and they made a real effort to distance themselves from James' comments, said a source close to the Clintons. You know Swillery? The Clintonistas don't want an undeserved backlash from the activist wing of the party that overwhelmingly supports Dean, especially because some anti-Clinton Democrats have blamed Senator Hillary Clinton for the attack by Carville, a longtime Clinton insider. Those forces claim Carville's motive was to topple Dean in favor of a chairman more favorable to Hillary's bid for the presidency. How do you like that? Bitch. Carville's remarks last week came as House Speaker-designate Nancy Pelosi, speaking of bitch, bungled the race for Democratic Majority Leader. Party operatives acknowledged the Carville and Pelosi sideshows were detracting from their election victories. As usual, the Democrats, that's their specialty. Grasping defeat from the jaws of victory, bungling it when they finally get their hands on the ball, they fumbled it away. By the way, how do you like that Dolphin rushing performance against the Vikings? What was it, 3 or 4 yards? I read in the box score it said 3, but Barry Jackass this morning said they had 4 yards.
They had minus.
Oh, it's minus 4 yards?
Minus 3 or 4, yeah.
Oh. Although Ronnie Brown, downtown Ronnie Brown did a hell of a job. He had 12 carries for 2 yards. That's not bad. That's a sixth of a yard a carry. We applaud Chairman Dean for his commitment to ensuring Democratic candidates and state Democratic parties have the resources and tools needed to compete and win, and we remain committed to the hard work of rebuilding our party for the future, said Mark Brewer, president of the Association of State Democratic Chairsmen. Brewer's organization endorsed Dean's $30 million effort.
About 30, man.
That helped win 6 new Democratic governorships and control of 10 or more state legislatures. Dean is credited with launching that 50-state program. They laughed at him when he said it, and he did a hell of a job. Nice going, Howie. Credited with launching a 50-state program to rebuild the party at the grassroots, as the GOP so successfully has done for the past 25 years. No question Dean can survive, because this is a mathematical equation. He has the votes on the DNC because he's been investing in the state party, said party activist David Sirota. Remember that song, My Sirota?
Yeah.
By the Knack. Carville didn't respond to attempts to contact him. He's mum. He's too busy shaving his bald spot. Even Dean Basher, Representative Rahm Emanuel, chairman of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, and an ex-advisor to Bill Clinton called Dean last week to say Carville was acting alone. What the hell was that?
That was My Sharona.
Didn't sound like it to me.
That's not it.
That wasn't it.
That's what it says.
Get out of here. And one time DNC Chairman Don Fowler referred to Carville as an ill-advised voice. Why do the Washington people think they've got a special prerogative to dictate what the Democratic Party needs, Fowler wrote in an email to the party faithful. Why should anyone want to mess with a team that won these remarkable election results, he'd be asking. How do you like that? So once again, the infighting goes on. In the meantime, all these people are dying, and bloodbath in Lebanon again. Those poor bastards. I guess my lesbianese cab driver is going to be really down in the dumps when he picks me up this afternoon for WW Woodbine Wednesday. Don't you think?
It's a Woodbine week for you.
It sure is. You got Thanksgiving tomorrow, which is no holiday here, so it's going to be nice and quiet there. I can go out there in the morning tomorrow and get my own machine, man, find a good machine. And with my tremendous perspicacity today, with my prognostications working so well, I should be able to pick out the good machine, shouldn't I?
Well,
since I knew that it was a ratings day, I just had that feeling. My psychic powers again.
Well, good luck to you. I hope you hear the prize bell a lot.
Yeah, sure you do. You are so sour on slots, man.
I'm not sour. I just don't.
Well, I got a great story on that, by the way. I am so glad that you mentioned that you interrupted. Where the hell is it, if I can find it? I got a huge pile today, and you want to know why?
Why's that?
Because I have a huge pile every day. See, one thing you'll notice is that I don't get to 1:50 and then say, well, that's all I got, I would never. Well, no, because then I would probably have to take calls or else talk to you for 45 minutes. I don't think that's going to happen.
Right.
About 20 miles north of Alligator Alley, up a two-lane road that winds past grazing cows, stands the Seminole tribe's newest casino. Housed in an air-conditioned white tent, it offers 63 slot machines and little else. 3 vending machines stand in a corner. The restrooms are in a portable unit out back. At 5:30 on a Friday, there are no customers, just a manager and 2 employees.
Well, that's weird. I was just there. I didn't see anything. That's how I get to Tampa and back.
The remote Big Cypress Casino, which isn't even listed on the tribe's website with other casinos, is one of the main reasons the Seminoles and Governor Jebster Fat-Ass Bush in April broke off negotiations over a gambling compact. A compact, an agreement governing tribal casinos, would mean bigger profits for the Seminoles, with a share going to the state government. It would allow the tribe to install Vegas-style slots at its casinos in place of those silly bingo-style machines, which typically offer lower payouts and generate less profit. Currently, the state receives no share of the tribe's gambling revenue, of course. The Seminoles say they simply want to enforce their sovereign right to operate casinos on their land. A spokesman said the tribe has no plans to expand the Big Cypress operation, although he wouldn't rule that out. If the casino did expand or add a hotel, it could bring development and additional traffic to one of the most important areas remaining of the Florida Panther, according to a state Panther expert. I didn't know they played hockey out there either in that joint. The governor, a staunch opponent of gambling, a real big fat-ass hypocrite, wants the Big Cypress Casino shut down, arguing its existence threatens the environment of the surrounding Everglades. He views the casino as an attempt by the tribe to expand gambling operations beyond its casinos in Hollywood, Coconut Creek, Brighton, Tampa, and Immokalee, said Raquel Rodriguez, the governor's general counsel, whose name ends in Z. So there you go. It's 20 miles north of Alligator Alley up a 2-lane road. Well, you don't go on that road. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? I went to Tampa. I just told you. Alligator Alley all the way up. I mean, it ends, but, you take 75 to Tampa.
Well, how do you know which road this is? It says up a 2-lane road that winds past...
It says off of Alligator Alley. There's nothing there but cows, like the article mentions.
Yeah, but there's a road. There's an exit there if you get where you go off to the thing. The Big Cypress Casino Bay. Look for it, and next time you go, plunge your guts out.
The biggest names, the best talent.
Get on the cow with a big ass.
Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
This is the Neil Rogers Show. Your brain. Any questions?
On the next Oprah, you'll be shocked. You'll be amazed. You'll be talking about it for the next however long until she shocks you again. Oprah makes your wildest dreams come true. Today, everyone in the studio audience, all 276 members, get a brand new liver.
Everybody gets a liver! Everybody gets a liver!
Then, tomorrow, all 276 studio audience members get a brand new uvula.
Everybody gets a brand new uvula! Everybody gets a brand new uvula!
The next day, all 276 members of the studio audience get a 3-foot helper monkey.
Everybody gets a 3-foot helper monkey! Everybody gets a 3-foot helper monkey!
The next day, all 276 audience members get a new prosthetic arm.
Everybody gets a prosthetic arm! Everybody gets a prosthetic arm!
Oprah, giving away great stuff she didn't have to pay for, even though she could easily afford to. And next season, everybody in the studio audience gets Stedman.
Everybody gets Stedman! Everybody gets Stedman!
You can have him. It's 11:02 at 560 WQM. We got Curtis for the Mad Dog at 2, and then the Humper from 4 to 7 solo. Panther preview at 7 o'clock. Any interest?
No.
How about a little bit?
No.
Panthers and Lightning at 7:30 and the Eddie K show after that.
By the way, can you please tell some person to stop sending this Time magazine article about Miami? We don't care, for the love of God.
Yeah, we don't care, okay? In fact, Josh is getting pretty PO'd about it, okay? Quit wasting our fax paper and our time with some stupid article. What does it say? What's it about?
It's just about people leaving Miami.
Yeah, well, we already know that, including me, okay? So cut the crap. Nobody
I did
cares.
Just get a fax that says our internet is going in and out.
I don't see any dropouts. I see one dropout on there. Look, listen. It's the day before Thanksgiving. One thing we ought to be thankful for is the fact that we're not going to pay any attention to all these Ojan Provocateur Goyim out there. We don't care. Stop the complaining. Stop being professional. And the guy that said you about the internet going out, that's why people are leaving South Florida, because they get disturbed on the day before American Thanksgiving. This is from the Agence France Presse, from some French fraud publication. Mayor. I think he's going to do it, John Pike, director of GlobalSecurity.org, a military issues think tank, told AFP, Agence France Presse. They're going to bomb WMD facilities next summer, he added, referring to nuclear facilities Iran says are for peaceful uses, and Washington insists are really intended to make nuclear bombs, or WMDs. It would be a limited military action to destroy their WMD capabilities, added the analyst, believing U.S. military invasion of Iran is not on the table. U.S. journalist Seymour Hersh, no relation to Sonny, also said at the weekend that White House hawks led by Vice President Dick Cheney, or as Chris Matthews says, Dick Cheney, were intent on attacking Iran with or without the approval of the U.S. Congress, both houses of which would switch from Republican to Democrat control in January after the November 7th legislative elections. The New Yorker published an article by Hersh saying that 1 month before the elections, Cheney held a meeting on Iran in which he said the military operation would never be discarded. The White House promptly issued a statement saying the article was riddled with inaccuracies. Joseph Cirincione, Senior Vice President for National Security and International Policy at the Center for American Progress, a Democrat-friendly think tank, also believes the U.S. government could decide to attack Iran. It's not realistic, but it doesn't mean we won't do it, he told AFP in an interview. It's less likely after the elections, but it's still very possible. Muy posible. If you look at what the administration is doing, it seems that it's going to inevitably lead us to a military conflict, he added, saying that no alternative solution was being sought, including discussions with Iran on Iraq, which could lead to talks on Iran's nuclear program and role in the region. Senior members of the Bush administration remain seized with the idea that the regime in Iran must be removed, Cirincione said. The nuclear program is one reason, but their deeper agenda is this belief that American military power can be used to fundamentally transform the regimes in the Middle East, he added. With the resignation of Rumsfeld, hardliners in the government have lost one of their leading advocates, and his replacement, former Central Intelligence Agency Chief Robert Gates, has in the past favored direct talks with Iran. But they remain within the administration at the highest level, the Office of Vice President, the National Security Council staff, perhaps the President himself, they be saying. Cirincione also accused neocon circles of promoting the military option against Iran. In a Sunday op-ed piece in the L.A. Times, Joshua Miravchik, resident scholar at the neocon American Enterprise Institute, called for getting tough with Iran. We must bomb Iran, he said. The path of diplomacy and sanctions has led nowhere. Our options, therefore, are narrowed to two. We can prepare to live with a nuclear-armed Iran, or we can use force to prevent it. Israel's also been pushing Washington to get tough on Iran. Israeli Deputy Defense Minister Echram Snei didn't rule out preventive military action. I wonder if he was related to Harold Sneps. Did not rule out preventative military action to stop Iran from acquiring nuclear weapons in a recent interview with the English-language Jerusalem Post. However, Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad seems unperturbed. On Monday, he said Israel was incapable of launching a military attack on Iran's nuclear sites and called Israeli threats propaganda. That's what he said. It's a lot of propaganda.
Ahmadinejad.
Yeah, that's the guy. Ahmadinejad. Kushmir and Tochas, whatever his name is. 1,093 votes on the poll. We are going to be on the precipice of 1,100 any second now on the day before Thanksgiving. Wow. Mighty impressive. And, of course, if you believe any of that, the only numbers that could be impressive are when the trends come out at 11:30. Then we'll see if we've got any audience left. We'll see if the morning... And I'm going to tell you, if the morning show doesn't, make some significant progress from that disastrous 0.9 in September, we'll have a new morning show on Friday morning. I don't know what it'll be, and I'm sure they don't either. It'll be something else.
Somebody
Maybe
talking
it'll be
to guests.
Drew... Huh?
That's what I'm guessing.
What?
People talking to guests.
People talking to guests, right. 15-minute segments. Let's see, 7 to 10 is 3 hours. It's 8 to 9:20 every Friday morning. That made me want to drop a huge pile right on the floor here. I mean, how is that possible? As some great philosopher, some radio maven said to me not too long ago, when you're paying supposedly high-priced real talent big money to do these shows, they're supposed to be the experts, whether it's about sports, whether it's about coin collecting, numismatics, whatever the hell it's about. Baseball cards, you name it. And so now on top of that, you got to pay, and they Beasleys wonder why they're losing money? Oh, my God. Why they're missing all those meals over there in Naples? 1,100 votes. It's just 11:08. We got 1,100 even. How do you like that? Wow. When Neil talks, rips religion. I love it. Formed at 81. Good for you. It's about time we found some people with a brain bigger than their digit. It's interesting, 277. Yeah, it sure is. It's pathetic is what it is. Not that I talk about it, but that it's going on. All these fairy tales, all these hobgoblin, goofball, silly-ass people. See, if I only picked on one, like if I only picked on Catholics or born-again Christians, then I'd be a bad guy. But it's all crap. It's just a question of which brand of crap you want to participate in, or which you were born into, most likely. It's like life is a lottery. And God decided that if you were lucky enough to be born in a family that believes in the right religion, then you're going to go to heaven, But if you're unlucky enough to have the wrong lotto ticket, you're screwed, baby. No matter what kind of life you live, you're going to burn in hell. Doesn't that make sense?
Right. You'll be praying in the
airports. God is a
airports.
loving God. What?
You'll be praying right there in the airports.
When Neil rips religion, it's interesting, 277. So between those two, you got 60, almost 70%. I turned the radio up, 227. I hate this poll, 52, 4.7%. See the way that's edging up now just to piss me off on the day before Thanksgiving? I don't care. I turned it off when he rips religion, 42, 3.8%. They turn it off because they can't handle it. They can't stand to have somebody challenge their fairy tales, their Bubba Mices. And I hate it, 21. Well, that's not too bad, about 5.7%. Hate it or turn it off or go bye-bye. I think we need to do a lot more religion-bashing shows. Maybe on Friday in between those bits, we'll sit here and rip religion. In fact, I think we'll play all the anti-religion bits on Friday. Would that be inappropriate on the day after Thanksgiving?
Nah.
I mean, what the hell do the pilgrims have to do? They were the ones that were burning the witches and everything. What the hell has it got to do with religion? They came to America to escape religious persecution, and the first thing they started doing is persecuting people because of religion.
Take your God and shove it.
There you go. I like that. Take your God and you shove it where the moon don't shine. Maybe that's where God is hiding. We can't find him. Maybe he's deep inside somebody's...
Rectum.
Yeah, there you go. So what I would do is I'd stand in front of one of those big mirrors. I'd stand in front of it, I'd bend over, I would reach back and grab my cheeks, spread them wide, and then look in there and see if God is in there. You think maybe that's where he's hiding in somebody's...
Rectum.
Maybe he's in everybody's butt. You think that's a possibility?
Well, could have been confusion because people say he's in your heart.
Well, the Virgin Mary, I mean, she's on the side of bank buildings, she's on underpasses in Chicago there, like on water-stained overpass, underpass,
grilled
all this other stuff. On pizzas, on burritos. The Immaculate... I don't want to say the Mexicans are a bunch of really silly getchkis, but boy, they sure are. I mean, of all the Catholic groups, I guess it's all over Latin America, isn't it?
Yeah.
Miguel should know.
¿Cómo?
Not the Cubans, though, right? Carrying signs with slow... Well, listen, they're too busy, squeezing their grandchildren's privates. They don't have time to worry about God.
Yeah.
They're too busy checking it out to see if it's who's been naughty and nice. Carrying signs with slogans such as best in-flight meal ever, scores of mothers breastfed their babies at airports around the country yesterday in a show of support for a woman who was ordered off a plane for nursing her daughter without covering it up. It's about raising consciousness about our culture's sexualization of the breast. Breastfeeding needs to be supported whenever and wherever the meaning of wait. What? Well, this is chopped off. Said Chelsea Clark, 31, wearing got a breast milk T-shirt as she nursed her 9-week-old son at the Burlington airport. All these militant broads just whipping their boobies out there. I'll tell you one thing. If they want to, and the airlines want to get the percentage of seats sold on the flights way up there, that's one way to do it. Fly so-and-so airline. Fly, Naked Breast Airlines. They'll be packed on there. About 25 women turned out for the nurse-in at the airport, parking themselves near a ticket counter in a peaceful but not so quiet demonstration held at airports in Boston, Vegas, Columbus, Ohio, Nashville, Tennessee, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Hartford, Connecticut, Albuquerque, New Mexico, and someplace else that's blotched out. Some of the women carried signs that read, "Don't be lactose intolerant," and breasts, not just for selling cars anymore. Which I have no idea what that means. What does that mean?
Got us.
Yeah. On October 13th, Emily Gillette, 27, well, we know that. She was ordered off the plane from Burlington because she was breastfeeding her daughter and wouldn't get off the damn plane. The airline later disciplined the unidentified employee, but activists and women's rights supporters were outraged, and Gillette filed a complaint with the Civil Rights Commission. It was a basic human thing we were doing and should be able to do it in public without being kicked off planes, said whatever her name was. So there you go. They're getting militant and they're whipping their breasts out, and guys are going like, all right, just like that. Yeah, I'll fly that airline anytime. 1,112 votes on the poll. We got the numbers coming out in 20 minutes. What could possibly be not to like?
The biggest names,
except
the
working on
best
Friday.
talent. This is Neil Rogers.
Sounds unacceptable to me.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Neil God.
Available in video stores now.
A honeymoon video that K-Fed wants you to see and Brittany does not want him to sell.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
She's not opposed to threesomes.
It's the best sex I've ever had.
And I'm a sexaholic.
We used KY and tongue depressors.
It was not sexual.
It was an isolated sexual incident.
Did I sleep with her? Did I not sleep with her?
More than 100,000 positions.
Available in video stores now.
Yes, yes. Oh, my God.
I want you to have sex as I want pizza.
I want to do it for real.
Yes, yes.
And the bad news is, the disgusting news is, as if anybody should care, and by now we really shouldn't, is that they're back together again. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, yeah, they're reconciling and they're back together again, and he's like doing whatever. And then also in the tabloids, inside stories about how he beat the crap out of her and the beatings and the whippings and the black eyes, etc. All of these things. But why the hell should we care about those people? Do they have any talent? No, other than she used to look really, really good. He used to.
She's trying
West
to
Palm
get back
Beach
to that
and he
look.
never, of course, did. Even at birth, he looked bad. I'm sure of that. Slimy and nasty. Oh, brother. He's got Yehu written all over his puss. Palm Beach Post says West Palm Beach saw a new record low this morning as the temperature of 40 degrees was recorded at Palm Beach International Airport at 6:01 this morning. Previous record low for today was 41. On the day before Thanksgiving, a record low in Palm Beach. Is that something to be thankful for? Record lows also set are tied in Melbourne, 38, Vero Beach, 39, Hollywood had 46, Miami Beach, 48, and Key West, 55. When I woke up here this morning, it was
about 30, man.
30. But now we're going into some real warm weather. Don't ask me why. We're going into a real warm spell. In fact, 7 today, that's 45, and then like double digits, like 50 the next few days. So there you go. Write it down, Castronova. You can talk about it on your show on Friday. Also, forecasters said the warmest it could get today will be the lowest high temperature on record. The record in West Palm Beach for this date is 67 degrees. Forecasts put us on the path to at least tie that. Maybe only like 65. So visitors to South Florida, skip this next sentence. The rest of you listen up while Weather Service specialist Bob Ebaugh describes a concept lost on many of us. You may want to think about dressing in layers, like a sweater and a jacket, maybe a long-sleeve shirt under that. So when it begins to warm up, shed the layers. Oh, jeez. But things should begin to warm up on Thanksgiving Day, continue warming through the weekend. Well, that's good. I'm happy for you. Like people need to be told how to dress when it's like a little chilly outside. It would seem to me that you'd be in hog heaven when the weather's like this. This is heavenly.
I'm loving
like you got there, huh?
My windows are open the whole time down here.
See, beautiful. I mean, here it's sunny. It looks about 70. I'm looking out the window. It looks sunny and 70. Of course, it's not. It's sunny and I'll tell you exactly what it is here in a second. It's sunny and what is it? Oh, 41. 42. It's already getting toasty. How do you like that? If it's 42 this early in the morning, it's going to be 100 by the end of the day. You'll see. 21 past 11 at 560 WQM. We're in about 10 minutes. Clarence, you and your silly sports segments with Ira and what's...
Okay, you want to say that? He's from College Game Day. On ESPN.
College Gay Day?
Yeah, College Gay Day.
Oh, boy. Well, that's pretty impressive. I know I'd sure tune in to miss that.
He also does... games on ESPN.
Speaking of Thanksgiving, haven't we tried to drum some common sense in their head? But when you give the keys to a kingdom to a little sports nerd who goes to bed in a jockstrap every night, 2 weeks after winning re-election as an independent due to losing Connecticut's Democratic primary, Joe Lieberman, this will make your skin crawl. He already does. Joe Lieberman has hired a former spokesman for the Christian Coalition as his new communications director, according to Raw's story. The new hiree also formerly served as a senior fellow at the Democratic Leadership Council, a legislative director for the Conservative Heritage Foundation, and a communication director to Senator John McCain. 52-year-old political pundit and activist Marshall Whitman is very popular with Washington journalists because he often gives a good quote, according to a Washington Post profile from earlier this year. He's been a Trotskyite, a union organizer, a lobbyist, a government bureaucrat, a think tank cogitator, an aide to Senator John McCain, and despite the fact that he's Jewish, the official spokesman for the Christian Coalition. In other words, another sellout like Joe Lieberman. Birds of a feather daven together. Which raises a perplexing question. Why the hell would anybody listen to the political thoughts of a guy knuckleheaded? Birds of a feather daven together. Which raises a perplexing question. Why the hell would anybody listen to the political thoughts of a guy knuckleheaded enough to get mixed up with movements formed by both Leon Trotsky and Pat Robertson? Whitman explained at the time he may possess an extra contrarian gene. Because in the left-wing universe, one must oppose everything the president supports, Whitman wrote in February. The truth is that a good part of the left believes that George W. Bush is a greater threat to America than Osama bin Laden, he said.
Absolutely correct, sir.
I think he's got a good point there, and so do they. I think he's got a magnificent point, if you ask me. At least Osama's hiding in a cave somewhere. Maybe we could get W to, join up with him, huh? They could move in together, get a couple of bunk beds. Because that's his specialty, isn't it? W is bunk. Kind of like Clarence. In fact, you ever see the two of them together? Same person. 140 votes on the poll. What are you sending me now? I can smell a fax coming over.
Some copy. Some interesting copy.
Copy? What is that? This is a piece of copy?
The copy's the third sheet. The first two are just to give you a...
Oh, well, this is Gary Sarner's crap again, okay? Gary Sarner, whose main... back by his orifice, there's a big sign in neon lights that says, "Copy ain't me." That's his speciality. Copy ain't me. Oh, I don't know from copy, although I do notice that there's a little circle U on each one of these pages. So, in other words, he came in here and fed you this garbage, all this stuff, which I have no interest in reading. Thousands and zillions and on and on and go. Just send the copy along, okay? My Farbissen friend. The third page is that's the copy?
Yeah, the one that says 60 seconds.
Let me ask you something. Is the person that we hired to write copy, did they go on vacation, or they taking off a 17-day Thanksgiving holiday weekend or something? How do you like that? This place, I'll tell you one thing. I'm going to be so thankful tomorrow that I don't have to be involved with this radio station. That's what I'm most thankful for. On Thanksgiving, that I won't have to be involved. And no grief, no Tsaurus, no make-believe copy, no BS, no faking their way through life, no schlocking their way along. Speaking of schlock, by the way, the numbers are coming out pretty soon.
The biggest names, the best
Better
talent.
say a prayer,
This
Kenny.
is Neil
We're pulling
Rogers,
it for you.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
New GOP Bucket. The GOP Bucket is all white meat, right wings, and only $29.95. When Jews Attack. Tonight on Fox.
11:31, 29 till noon at 560 WQM. The trends for what months are going to be? It's going to be August, September, October. Going to be coming over any second now. Are you excited? Are you Kevin and Brittany in existence? It goes without saying that the stories of Kevin attempting to sell such a video are patently false, and anyone who reports that they have information of such attempts is either lying or reporting the lie of somebody else, he said. The couple married in 2004, and Spears, 24, filed for divorce this month. However, Federline is countersued, seeking custody of their two children, and according to some crap I saw in the crawl last night, they're reconciling. They're either touching each other again or they're doing something. Or they shook hands, whatever. 1,153 votes on the poll. I've loaded up my fax machine, man, with lots and lots. I don't know why, though, because I only want the men 18 plus. Is he in there yet?
No, he's not.
Of course not. It's only 11:32.
You know it's going to be a little delayed, you know.
Why is that?
Well, it always is. It's not like he walks in here at 11:30. Hence, it's 3 after already.
Well, can I read the Maureen Dowd article in the meantime? That'll kill some good time. And then when the numbers start coming in, we'll read them all. We'll find out how Magic is doing. 68-year-old Ricky Ticky Shaw, Jimmy Hummel. Nice going, Ricky. Can you imagine? Here's a guy almost 70 years old, and he tips his cap back. Hey, tip it back, Rick. Boy, does that thing stink. Maureen Dowd says, lost in the desert. Iraq now evokes that old news is that the election finished what Katrina started. It dismantled the president's fake reality about Iraq, causing opinions to come gushing forth from all quarters about where to go from here. The bad and his wormy aides, of course, are still babbling about total victory and contemplating completing the mission by raising the stakes and knocking off the mullahs in Tehran. His tombstone will probably say, here lies Dick Cheney, still winning. Even Henry Kissinger has defected from the Plan A gang, was in Tehran. His tombstone will probably say, here lies Dick Cheney, still winning. Even Henry Kissinger has defected from the Plan A gang. Once he thought the war could work, but now he thinks military victory is out of the question. When he turns against the war, you know the war's in trouble. He also believes leaving quickly would risk a civil war so big it could destabilize the entire Middle East. The death squads even assessed at times as Tom Shanker about his curtailed goals of reducing sectarian violence and restoring civil authority, acknowledging, will we attain those? I don't know. At a Senate hearing last week, General John Abizade sounded like Goldilocks meets Guernica. See, I knew she would do it. Asserting two propositions about the war that are logically at war with each other. He said, we can't have fewer troops because Iraqis need us, but we can't have more because we don't want the Iraqis to become dependent on us. He contended that increasing the number of our troops would make the Iraqi government mad, but also asserted that decreasing the number would intensify sectarian violence. This is a poor menu of options, says Maureen the Queen. As Peter Beinart wrote in the New Republic this week, in a particularly cruel twist, the events of recent months have demolished the best arguments, both for staying and for leaving. Noting in the same magazine that we're approaching a Sodom-like magnitude for the murder of innocents, Leon Weiselt here worried that the same problem may be deeper than the number of our troops. It may be Iraq itself. After we invaded Iraq, Iraq invaded itself, he said. We're at the mercy of Iraq where there's no mercy. Kirk Semple, the Times Baghdad correspondent, is presumably with the support of some leaders in Iraq's dysfunctional government. Now with the police begging the Americans not to make them patrol Baghdad's mean streets and showing her their shrapnel wounds, she just wants to get her unit home to the Palestinians as if there lies Iraq's salvation. James Baker will mostly try to suggest that the U.S. talk to Iran and Syria. Yesterday, after the Lebanese industry minister Pierre Gemayel, an opponent of Syria, was assassinated in Beirut, President Bush said he suspected that Iran and Syria were behind the murder. Maybe Mr. Baker had better find Plan C. The Pentagon is trying to decide whether we should go big, go long, or go home. Go figure, says. Maybe Mr. Baker had better find Plan C. The Pentagon is trying to decide whether we should go big, go long, or go home. Go figure, says Maureen. Nice going, honey. She's always great. Go figure. Go stick it. 1,163 votes. I think we'll have about 1,200 by noon. That's pretty exciting. And how are those numbers coming? Don't have them.
No, not yet.
Well, why not? We got to say our prayers 5 times a day. Says what? Who told you that? How about 100 times a day? That'll make it 20 times better. Then you get like 60 virgins instead of just 3. Or what was it supposed to be, 7?
7 virgins, yeah.
But they're all going to be wearing burqas. And boy, when you take that burqa off, wait till you see. It's probably going to be, they're all going to look like that chick that was in the casino in Woodbine the other night. That Italian guy's wife or girlfriend or whatever the hell she was. Oh, my goodness.
Sugar Mama.
Well, wow. She was Mias. When Neil rips religion, I love it, 510. It's almost half. 43.7% of the audience love it. They can't get enough of it. It's interesting, 293. That's another quarter, 25%. I turn the radio up, way up, 239. I blast it. I crank it. I roll the windows down. I hate this poll. 57, 4.8%. Notice how that just keeps creeping and creeping. A little more, little Mo. I bet you Mo's voting on it. He hates it. I turn it off, 43, and I hate it, 23. So that's like down to 5.5% who hate it or turn it off. Maybe the people that really hate it have already turned it off because I'm taking the poll on. Off, 43, and I hate it, 23. So that's like down to 5.5% who hate it or turn it off. Maybe the people that really hate it have already turned it off because I'm taking the poll on that. And they can't stand that. Oh, he's doing anti-religious talk on the day before Thanksgiving. What a heathen faggot. Yeah, and what's the point? Keep saying it. I've been saying it for years, and I just can't do it. Just don't care. You know, let's play that Buckingham's and I don't care. Come on, you got it. I don't care. Or Don't You Care. That's the name of the song. Don't You Care. Sorry. And let's play a little bit of Ishkabibble, too, when the numbers come in. Now, did Clarence come in there with him?
Yep.
Yeah. Did he have a smile on his puss or like an ugly, mean, nasty, surly look?
Neither.
Or he just looked like the usual nondescript putz that he is? Here we go. The Buckinghams on Columbia Records. I'd say, I don't know, 68, 69, 70, 67, 66. Oh, like I said. What was it? Okay, that's enough. 20 till noon, Underwood. And then we got the Panther preview at 7 o'clock. Panthers and the Woeful Lightning at 7:30, followed by the world-famous Eddie K. Show. Attention men, if you guys out there have got a hair loss problem, or maybe you're currently wearing some kind of a hair system, I want you to open your ears up wide. Get the wax out. For more than 40 years, Charles Alfieri has been designing hair systems for everybody. Show business people, politicians, and most importantly, everyday schleppers just like you. Now, people say they can always spot a hair system. They know one when they see one, but those are the bad ones. How many good hair systems go unnoticed because they look so natural that you don't know it's not the real thing? And that's Charles Alfieri. His hair systems are completely natural, designed with just the right amount of hair and the proper recessions. Run your hands through it and pretend you're running your hands through Brady Quinn's head. It looks and feels just like you're in Summit's ears for just an additional $500. And the folks at Charles Alfieri Studios are so confident that if you're not completely happy, return it, get your $99 back. That's an offer you can't refuse. And like I always tell you, you've got nothing to lose but that ugly bald spot that makes you look so much older. Charles Alfieri in Fort Lauderdale for a no-obligation appointment, and Charlie will show you how much better he can make you look. Call 1-800-321-2413. That's 1-800-321-2413. You won't believe how much better and how much younger you're going to look.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Now, Inside Edition. Press reports say that in the 2 years of marriage, K-Fed and Brittany, Kevin Federline may have burned through half her fortune. Some are saying that he spent upwards of $100 million.
Brittany, Kevin, together. Kevin, is it true that you spent half of Brittany's fortune?
I've been paying for everything out of my pocket. Everything.
Are you that ignorant?
Everything.
You know, Kevin, I don't like you, and it's my show, so I'm just going to hit you with this taser gun.
Awesome.
Yeah, I can increase the voltage, too.
I have feelings.
Kevin, no talking.
Ew.
Hurt.
Oops, I did it again.
Inside Edition. We'll be right back.
14 till noon. Here's the numbers. I don't have them. I don't know where you're faxing this stuff, but it's nothing coming over here.
Well, you should have them in a little bit.
Well, what does that mean?
Meaning, when I hit send the first time, they didn't go through, so I had to do it again.
Like I just got through saying before the break, everything in that place, man, it's not first hand, it's not even second hand, it's third hand. Wow, that is really pathetic. In fact, I was so concerned that I just maybe jammed too much paper into my machine there, anticipating the numbers, that maybe I jammed it up, although I know I didn't because it's sleeping. It's sleeping. So I printed out a story that I don't even want, just to make sure that everything was kosher and copacetic, and it printed out just fine, man. No Sweatsky on this end. Everything is working, percolating right along. Now, when did you just resend it again? Like about 85 minutes ago or what?
No,
I don't want us to get... Huh?
About 2 minutes ago.
Well, it's sure a long...
You should be getting something.
What?
You should be getting stuff by now.
Sleep. There ain't nothing coming through on this end. And we just got a piece of copy you faxed to me a little while ago, 85 pages of it. So we know that the fax is working just fine.
Yes, we do.
What's going on with your machine, man? I think you got a bad machine there on that end. Did it say sending?
Yeah.
That's what you said the first time it said it was sending.
No, I didn't. So the first time we had a problem.
Well, guess what? You may be sending, but it ain't coming. Nothing is happening on this end. There is nothing, zero, zippity-doo-dah, zippo coming from down there. Nothing. No pages, front pages, back pages, bent over pages with Mark Foley. There ain't no pages. Here, like the public is on the air. Everybody who works in the business and everybody who owns a radio, as usual, they tune in right here. Oh, there's ratings coming out, like they really care. Like Tom Jicka, he's sitting there with it.
Yep.
Makes that little, just like that. It's not beeping, it's sleeping. And I'm going to start freeping. 1,181 votes on the poll. I beg your pardon?
I guess we're having some issues over here.
Oh, geez. Here we go again. Every time you turn around, that stinking place, you got issues.
Well, it's in memory. I guess it's just saying that the phone is busy or something.
The phone is busy?
It says phone is not available.
Well, guess what? I just picked it up, and there's the nice same dial
tone
that
would be
been
this
on there
phone,
all day.
I'm sure.
Oh, you mean that phone?
Yeah, don't worry. It's scanned, though, a bunch of times. You'll probably get it like 8 times. Once the phone isn't, once the phone is available.
Once the line clears up, you'll have.
Let me ask you something. Pickup. Is there a handset on that phone? I forget what it even looks like.
I don't think there is.
There's not?
No.
On that fax machine, there's no handset? So maybe you've done it. Where you reset that machine, where you pull out the thing from the back.
I can do that.
Well, I'll do that. While I read a couple of more very important stories here that are going to set everybody on their ass, let's see if maybe we can get the numbers on by 1:30. How's that sound? Oh, my God. It just never, ever ends in that place. One more thing I'm thankful for.
Well, you want to know your 10 to 3?
What, you got men? You got the number?
Yeah, men 18 plus.
Yeah, and?
4.5.
Woo! Pretty weak. Really bad. What was it in the last trend?
4.6.
Oh, so it's about flat.
Yes, we stayed at number 5.
Oh, and that, of course, is what?
That's
August, September, and October.
August, September, October, correct.
And, of course, that's men 18 plus. So 25-54, we might still be okay, even though we're dropping off that big month from July with the 10-5, 25-54 men. So that might be okay. Now, what about the morning? That's what every inquiring minds are worrying about, and I do mean worrying, dropping off that big month from July with the 10-5, 25-54 men. So that might be okay. Now, what about the morning? That's what every inquiring minds are worrying about, and I do mean worrying desperately, frantically, since some people have families to feed.
Mornings, 2.3. Up from a 1.7.
Wow, we're doing it, baby. They had a 4.6. Nice going, boys. How do you like that? On the Kenny and Bull Morning Show. And it's fantastic. I think it's all that talk. That's what does it. And Geldy coming in on Wednesday. Uh-huh. Anyway, I'm sure that are you still potchking around with a machine? Is he still diddling around
No, I
with
reset it.
And? I still got nothing.
I'll try to send it again.
Try to resend it again one more time. I don't think it's going to work.
And overall, we went from a 2.7 to a 3.0.
Oh, are we kicking some serious ass or what, huh?
18 to 12.
August, September, and October from a 2.7 to a 3. And what about afternoons? You might as well tell me that.
Afternoons, 3 to 7. Blah, 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 blah,
yeah.
I'm looking at page 1. 3.2. Up from a 2.4.
Oh, my goodness. So every day part went up again except us.
Yeah, you're blowing the big one, man.
We're in big trouble. Well, you know something? It's about time that the other day part started picking up. What was it again? 3-2, and we had, what, a 4-6. So we still beat everybody else hands down your pants. Oh, that's not very good, though. What did you say? We had a 4-6? Well, that's because that horrible August is still on there. Let's see.
4-5, actually.
Oh, 4-5. 13-5. So that means we had a 4-9 in the month of October. Let's see. 8.
4-5, actually.
Oh, 4-5. 13-5. So that means we had a 4-9 in the month of October. Not very good. 4-9. But at least then they hit a 4-6 in the morning, so we're consistent. Now we can have like 4-something all day long. That would be good. Instead of us having to lift everybody up by their bootstraps and carry the load. Too heavy of sexual contact with the child, according to a statement from U.S. Attorney Paul Perez. There's still nothing coming over here, by the way.
He's going to shoot it
No,
up.
we're trying it now.
If convicted, Mays faces a maximum of 4 years in prison. He was released on a $100,000 bond and placed on home detention with electronic monitoring, prosecutors said. It wasn't immediately known if he had an attorney. The girl was flying alone from Tampa to Detroit on June 20th, prosecutors said. The flight had a stopover in Nashville. Her grandparents contacted police at the Detroit airport. The girl told police a man touched her inappropriately during the flight to Nashville, where the man disembarked. The girl identified Mays from photos of passengers on the flight. A telephone page to a Southwest spokesman wasn't immediately returned. I mean, you talk about stupid. You know, Miss Foley, that one was stupid. Putting that stuff right there online on the Internet, putting it right in print for the whole world. Now, Slapin doesn't say receiving page 1 or sticking it where the moon don't shine. Nothing. Absolutely, positively, nothing happening from that end. I think you may have to use a different fax machine. You think that might do it?
I think that's where we're going soon.
Well, go do it, please. Just go find one. Steal one. Go downstairs to the credit union that used to be there and see if there's a fax machine in that building. Go break into a bank. Use their fax machine. Only 1 in 4 Americans believe President Bush is a better president than his father, George Herbert Walker Bush, a new poll from CNN has found. And those 1 in 4 need, not that the daddy was anything to write home about. 6 in 10 said the elder Bush, who served 1 term from 89 to 93, did a better job in office. According to a poll conducted by Opinion Research Corp., 12% said both were equally good or bad, and 2% had no opinion. The poll also found that 59% disapprove of President Bush's handling of his job, 38% approve of it. The polls released come 2 weeks after the election, after the lost term of the House and the Senate, from Friday through Sunday, this last weekend, also found that most economy and the federal deficit, 3 signature GOP issues. Maybe that's why they voted for him. Think that might make some sense? But nevertheless. I still got nothing coming, by the way. And I don't think I'm going to have anything coming. Where the hell did he go? Maybe that's why they voted for him. Think that might make some sense? But nevertheless. I still got nothing coming, by the way. And I don't think I'm going to have anything coming. Where the hell did he go? Did he go, down to Publix down the street somewhere for a fax machine?
He's going to try from the bullpen.
Oh, I'm getting Bull Schmidt, not bullpen, Bull Schmidt. So that's a breath. There's a nice sigh of relief. I have one thing to say to you, okay? Let's see, anything coming off my fax machine back here? Nothing. Zippity-doo-dah, nothing.
This is Mark Morgan. It's the 12 to 1 hour on QAM.
On behalf of the transgender log cabin Republicans of Florida, I'd like to congratulate Charlie Christ on being our first gay governor.
He's not gay.
What do you mean not gay?
He's not because he says he's not.
Oh, come on, with that haircut and the can-tan, you know that guy owns a pair of no-ass chaps.
Look, just because we dress this way doesn't give us license to judge others.
Yeah, you're right. Personal business. Personal business. You're right.
That's right.
Personal
That's
business, even if you have to lie about it. And by the way, you're looking lovely tonight.
Ooh, you like it? Really?
Yeah, it's very...
This is cranberry juice I rubbed on my cheek.
Very nice, yeah. Makes you look more like a...
A woman?
Yes, Mommy. More like a woman.
Must be the lotion.
So, about Charlie Christ.
Hey, there's that admirer I was telling you about.
Who? That guy?
Yeah, get this. He drives a car.
Oh.
Yeah. He wants to meet us in the parking lot.
That could mean upwards of $10 or $20.
Yeah, let's go.
Which one is it?
It's the brown 83 Corolla with the cracked windshield.
Okay. Yeah, wait a minute. Does my mouth look pretty?
Looks fine. What do you say we kick up our heels and get on our knees?
Okay.
This message was paid for by Panties Full O' Nut. Flavor that millionaires' money can't buy.
12:02 at 560 WQM. So it looks like things are looking up for Kenny and Bo. Thank God for that, in spite of those insipid sports segments.
Are you getting the numbers?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Praise the Lord.
You think if I went out, is this from the bullpen?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Which indicates, again, that as usual, that thing is crapped out in your room right there. But then again, it's always the way it is. Let's see, Monday through Sunday, the entire week, men 18 plus. Boy, are we excited or what here at QM? We're on the second page in men. But then against men 18 plus, that includes all the men. Like I said, even older than me, even older than Rick Shaw, which is really old. 2.7 in the summer book, and now a 3 point. Oh, you already said that. From a tie for 18th to a tie for 12, or 18th to a tie for 12. We're tied with life. You know any men who listen to WLYF to life? No. Mornings now. Here's the big deal. Hot 105 is number one. Let's see who's on first. Hot 105 number one in overall in men. Radio Mambi. So this is more your people, Miguel. That's why he's all whipped up about it. It's more spos and shvos, baby. Radio Mambi number 2. Old Julio's. CMQ FM number 3. Radio Amor number 4. Anybody speaking Inglés aquí? No? Now let's go back to the morning again. Hot 105 is number one. Moving. They were number one last time, but they're all the way up to a 7.8 share. What's so hot about that thing? What are they playing? Oh, they got that Tom Joyner. Is he still on in the morning? The hardest working jock in the fly business. He's got the hardest working fly.
I couldn't tell you.
Couldn't tell you either.
WXDJ FM up to way up there. Had a 6.5, was number 2 in the summer book. Now up to a 7.2. No speaking Inglés in this latest month. That's what this is all about. Radio Mambi number 3 with a 6.3. Paul and Ron slipped one notch from number 3 to number 4, 6.0 to a 5.7. Radio Amor is number 5, and then let's see, IOD is flat. See, this is not a news talky kind of month. Radio Suave, Colombia no speak Inglés aquí either. 3.5 in the summer book down to a 2.5 from 7th to 13th. They took a drop, and we made a nice inroad there from 1.7 from tied for 19th in the summer to a 2.3, number 15. I'm not that being number 15 is so great. And, of course, your friends across the street, the ones that Clarence has all been out of shape about. Let's see, it wins Air America 1.4 to a 1.6. Not good. And the guys across the street, I think, had a, where the hell is it? Are they even on the list here? Where the hell is it? Oh, there they are, right below us, 2-2. So our guys, we beat out Joe Rose 2-2. 2-3 to a 2-2. It looks nice on you, though, Joe. How do you like that, huh? Makes Joe Bell and Clarence look like a couple of geniuses, doesn't it? Huh? No. But the thing I'm thinking about, you know the good news for this? Always thinking ahead like I am? Is that when the entire fall book comes, October, November, December, they're going to be dropping off those very weak August and the really horrendous September. You know what I'm saying?
What are you saying?
I'm saying they got a shot, baby. They got a shot. Just like Jimmy said, we got a shot at having a real number there in the morning. Now, middays here, of course, we're going to be dropping off that really bad August, too, in the next trend. Thank God for that. Middays, CMQ-FM is number 1. No speaking Inglés, up from a 6.1 to a 6.4 share. Radio Mambi. Oh, this is all such garbage. From 4th up to number 2 with a 5.7. Again, that's old Julio's, baby. Old Julio's with green teeth in between playing dominoes. They'll listen to Radio Mambi. Fidel is dead. Morto, yeah. IOD is a flat. 5.0. QAM, 4.6 to a 4.5. 5th in the summer, 5th in this thing. All of our Q went up. Our length of listenership went down a little bit, though. 45 minutes, not good. You better start listening a lot more, I'm telling you that right now, or we're in trouble. Let's see, anybody else of interest on here? Do you want to see those guys? How about Scare America, which can't pay the payroll? How's Scare America doing in middays? 2.1 to a 2. Slight drop, just like us, 1/10 of a point. No deal. What about across the street? 1.5 up to a 1.7. I think they're starting to make some real serious inroads. That Sid Rosenbergstein Krantz there in the midday, or whoever they got on, now that the juice is gone. Isn't the juice gone?
Yes.
The juice is gone. And in the afternoons, 3 to 7, let me staple these babies together. I got my assembly line going here. Of course, let's see, this is the first trend of the fall book, so it doesn't really mean all that much. It's 1 month. 3 to 7, Radio Amor continues to be number 1 and went up again. Big is number 2. Big 105.9. Hot, Love, Radio Mambi from a 2.7 to a 4.2. Boy, you talk about an old Julio month. That must be the only people they could find, and maybe that's why we didn't do so great in October, you think?
Those are the people that always get the books.
Not like this. They had a 2.7. They were number 18 in the summer book, Radio Mambi, and in men 18 plus, they're up to number 5, tied for 5th with a 4.2. Anybody buying that?
No.
It's really ridiculous. Radio Ritmo, another no speaking Inglés, from a 3.7 up to a 4.2. Somebody please speak of the Inglés. My God, we got no shot. Now, let's see, where are we? QM from a 2.4, from 19th high to 3.2. Now that we got Mad Dog and a Humper back where they both belong. Not that that's a great number, you understand, but again, you know, it includes a couple of really bad months. Bad months. That'll drop off as time goes on. Scare America in the afternoon, 2.4 up to a 2.5. What about Waxy in the afternoon, 1.9 to a 2.2? Uh-oh, they seem to like that 2.2. They got a 2.2 in the morning and a 2.2 in the afternoon. They just pass it around, and it looks lovely on all of them. I wonder if Joel, what's his name, gets to wear it. Feinberg. He only gets to wear it certain times a day. So that's basically it. We waited all this time, went through all of that angst for that. Now, what are all these other pages you're sending me? Oh, like nighttime? Who the hell cares about nighttime?
Oh,
it's
you're
not
getting
the right
it, buddy.
time.
You're getting it.
Well, that's it. I hope that's the end. No, there's more coming. Jesus, God. Talk about wasting my fax paper. Chopping down all these maple trees so that you can fax me all this crap. And it better not come over 8 times, I'll tell you that.
I hope not.
I'm going to be really PO'd. And you're sending me the weekend, Saturday and Sunday? I don't want to see that. Who the hell cares about the freaking weekends on this? Oh, I know what you're worried about. You're worried about that fishing show and about that auto show that you're supervising. Isn't that what you're concerned about?
That's right.
Well, jam both of them, okay? Tell Eric Brandon, have a great life. What do we got at night? What do we got on at night? This is, we had some Marlin baseball. And we got little Panthers, which ought to bring us way down. 3-1 down to a 2-7. See, I told you. Once we make the transition from the Marlins to the Panthers at night, it's like not what I'd call really good. You know what I'm saying?
Squirt.
Yeah, like that. Okay, there's still pages coming out of there. I'm not too happy about that. That's not more weekend crap, is it?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it is. I mean, wouldn't you think that across the street would have a big number on the weekend? I don't know what they got because I threw it away. It's on the floor. I can still look at it. I'll unravel it. Because the Dolphins, of course, don't you think the Dolphins are going to put them way up there? Let me see. They're not on that first page. They're not on the second page on the weekend. Where the hell are they? They got the Dolphins that they're paying $80 billion a year for, that they're losing their ass on. We got a 1.7 on the weekend, up from a 1.6. Must be that fishing show. Nice going, Eric. Let's see. I'm looking for Waxy 790, the ticket, and it says 1.0 to a 1.2 from 25th to a tie for 24th. That's what I call real progress, Joel. Those Dolphins, man, it's worth $4 or $5 million, isn't it? To go from tie for 24th to number 25 all by yourself, or whatever the hell they got. They're doing it. Okay, don't send me anything else. So we went through all of that for nothing. Huh? At least it was exercise, killed about 40 minutes anyway. And I'm exhausted. I feel like I just ran 20 miles. 1,218 votes on our poll. Let's get back to the show, shall we? Nobody cares about all these stupid numbers from diaries from people that don't speak it English. That is really so sad. So very sad. When Neil rips religion, I love it. 529, 43% plus out of 1,219 votes. It's interesting, 309. See, I know what Miguel is thinking. If you take the calls again, you'd be back up to those 9 and 10 shares. Well, you know what? I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
Isn't that what you're thinking?
No.
Yeah, that's what you're thinking. Nobody wants to listen to some old fag on here reading all these stupid, boring political stories and crap about the world's coming to an end and about political crap. Isn't that what he's thinking, Josh?
Yes, he is.
Well, too bad. That's what you're thinking, too. When Neil rips religion, I love it, 529. It's interesting, 309. I turn the radio up, 250. See, they're turning it up, way up and away by the fifth dimension. I bet you got that. I hate this poll, 60, 4.9%. Every time I give the result of this, that's up another tenth of a point, just to aggravate and agitate. I turn it off, 45, and I hate it, 26, 5.7%, who are deeply and bitterly offended, and I'm delighted that I'm accomplishing something anyway. Because I get ripping religion and decrying all the murder and bloodshed going on in the world in the name of this God and that God and Allah and all this other BS. Speaking of BS, an auto accident's a really traumatic experience. There's shock, there's stress, there's tsuris. It's something nobody wants to have happen. But when it does, you have to have help answering all the questions that immediately go racing through your mind. What do I do now? Do I need medical treatment? Do I need an attorney? Am I entitled to compensation? So many questions and very often not any answers. You need to be sure you call the right number the first time when you need help to get all the answers, and that number is toll-free, 1-888-CRASH-61. It's a free call. There is absolutely no obligation. 1-88, it's your auto accident hotline, 1-888-CRASH-61. It's toll-free, and there is absolutely, positively no obligation. So get all your questions, 888-CRASH-61.
Ab
my junior, honey.
Okay.
I believe that rehab's in my future. If I keep carrying on this way, if I said I'm sober, it was just a lie. I am so freaking high, but it is easier than go to a meeting.
Good, though. They had a 4-6 in the morning, we had a 4-9 in midday, and a 4-6 in the afternoon. I extrapolated it, and that's good, consistent all the way through. Do you think that's fine?
Excellent.
Oh, we're
It's
fine.
about time we started to have a little bit of cooperation here. And if we can get a lot more of those segments on there, if we can get Ira on like 8 times a week,
They'll
and the
leave you
fishing
in the
report,
dust.
and the golf show, I beg your pardon?
They'll leave you in the dust.
Good. It's about time. I'm getting a little bit too old to carry everybody on my fat old back. Like I said before, I'm starting to get a little bit arthritic from it. This is a sick story, by the way. Did Josh leave now? That would make you want to vomit. On August 21st, 2006, my whole world ended. For those of you who don't know, my beautiful wife Candace died just because you sold Robert Quiroz, Q-U-I-R-O-Z, Quiroz, a Fresno, California Marine who was called back from a mission in Iraq to be with his seriously ill wife who died of complications during the birth of the couple's only son, Roman. Quiroz sits today in the Fresno County Jail charged with the murder of the 3-month-old infant. Bail has been set at $1 million. The infant was taken into custody by Child Protective Services in October after the doctor was treating him for a broken arm, notified police. Roman was returned to his father just 3 days later with the child abuse charges still under investigation. The child then died of massive blunt force trauma. The couple also had a daughter, Kylie, 18 months old, who appears to be unharmed and now remains in Child Protective Services custody. What is that?
What?
He came home from Iraq to be with a seriously ill wife who died of complications during the birth of her only son, and then he killed it, alleged. And that's the name of that tune.
So he hurt the baby and they gave it back to him?
No, they did not give it back to him. The child, if you were listening, is in the custody of Child Protective Services. You idiot, you Julio, you.
Okay.
You're just all whipped up because all them old Julios got the diaries. Good God. Are those people ever going to die or what? Never. They're never going to die. It's almost impossible. You're going to listen to Radio Mambi. Pop, 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 beep, 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 like that. Some excuse for them, okay? Get with the program, okay? And stop with the same old BS. It's gone on for a zillion years now. Never going to end. The Gaza Strip had suffered massive human rights violations. Louise Arbour. I wonder if she's kin to Al Arbour. Used to play for the Leafs and the Blackhawks. Used to be the coach in Chicago. Louise Arbour, UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, traveled to the town of Beit Hanun, where Israeli artillery killed 18 members of a single family 2 weeks ago as they slept in their house. She said she would use a 5-day trip to the region to call on Palestinian and Israeli leaders to stop further violence. The violins, who were not the authors of their own misfortune, suffered to the extent of what I see, she be saying. She met members of the Atamna family who survived the attack and who showed her photographs of their dead relatives. Even as she traveled through the town, Israeli troops were operating in another area of Beit Hanun, tearing up fields from which militants launched crude rockets at Israel. The Israeli military said a fault in its artillery was responsible for the shelling of the Atamna, whatever their name is, family. The incident came after a week-long Israeli military operation in Beit Hanun, which itself left more than 50 Palestinians, among them many militants, dead, and which was intended to stop rocket fire into Israel. However, militants continue to fire their Qassam rockets into Israel, mostly aimed at the town of Sderot, where a woman was killed last week. She was the first person to die from a Qassam rocket attack in more than a year. And it goes on. They did this and they did that, and it's the same old tired crap, and it goes right back to our poll question today. The same old religious insanity, man. The Arabs and the Jews and the Arabs, and the Farbistan over here and the Farbistan across on the other side, and they just want to kill each other, that's all. They hate each other like poison. Kind of like me and Clarence. Oh, nice job, by the way, Clarence. Hell of a job. Isn't he doing a heck of a job? He finally got a month.
There you go.
Yeah, you see, he'll be going around taking credit for this. You see, it's those great interviews that we got. That's what put us over the... Of course, they've had those same great interviews for how many months now? For how many years? Ira's been dragging this thing into the toilet for a long time now. Thanks a lot, Ira. You quisling, you squeaky voice goofball. Oh, speaking of squeaky voices, I have such a great article here. I may do the break early.
Really?
It's not that long. Was the CIA involved in Bobby Kennedy's assassination? Of course, that movie is coming out tomorrow. Bobby, you going to go see it? No.
No.
Neither am I. Was the CIA involved in Bobby Kennedy's assassination? Of course, that movie is coming out tomorrow. Bobby, you going to go see it? No.
No.
Neither am I. By Shane O'Sullivan, again in the British newspaper, The Guardian. If you want to read the good stuff, read the out of the country, like the, what's the other one? Just a bunch of prop in 2006. I haven't seen anything on TV. I mean, am I dreaming, or is today the 41st anniversary of the assassination of John Kennedy?
That's what you say?
What do you mean that's what I say? It was November 22nd, 1963. It's the 43rd anniversary, like I said.
Yeah, but 43 isn't a significant number, so.
Oh, I see. So, in other words, they're not even going to mention it? There's nobody in the media anywhere even mentioning it?
Nah, wait 7 more years.
Wait till we get to 50. 7 more years. You're talking to me about that?
The biggest
Talk about an optimist.
best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QA.
Around the clock tonight.
Stop the boys.
Praise Allah, my ass. 12:30 at 560 WQM. We got Curtis Stevenson for the Mad Dog at 2 this afternoon. Got that Panther game after the Humper. Panthers in the Lightning tonight. Any interest in that?
No.
How about go to a game or case? On June 5th, 1968, Robert Kennedy wins when 24-year-old Palestinian Sirhan is arrested as the lone assassin. He carries the motive in his shirt pocket, a clipping about feet in front of Kennedy, but the fatal bullet is fired from 1 inch behind. And more bullet holes are found in the pantry than Sirhan's gun can hold, suggesting a second gunman is involved. Sirhan's notebooks show a bizarre series of automatic writing, ours being led into a dark place by a girl who wanted coffee, then being choked by an angry mob. Defense psychiatrists conclude he was in a trance at the time of the shooting, and leading psychiatrists suggest he may have been a hypnotically programmed assassin. 3 years ago, I started writing a screenplay about the assassination of Robert Kennedy, caught up in a strange tale of second guns and Manchurian candidates as the movie Indian. Morales was a legendary figure in CIA covert operations. According to close associate Tom Kleins, if you saw Morales walking down the street in the Latin American capital, you knew a coup was about to happen. When the subject of the Kennedys came up in a late-night session with friends in 1973, Morales launched into a tirade that finished, "I was in Dallas when we got the son of a bitch, and I was in L.A. when we got the little bastard." From this line grew my odyssey into the spook world of the 60s and the secrets behind the death of Bobby Kennedy. Working from a Cuban photograph of Morales from 1959, I viewed news coverage of the assassination to see if I could spot the man the Cubans called El Gordo, the fat one. 15 minutes in, there he was, standing at the back of the ballroom in the moments between the end of Kennedy's speech and the shooting. 30 minutes later...
About 30, man.
There he was again, casually floating around the darkened ballroom, while an associate with a pencil mustache took notes. The source of early research on Morales was Bradley Ayers, a retired U.S. Army captain who had been seconded to J.M. Wave, the CIA's Miami base in 1963, to work closely with Chief of Operations Morales on training Cuban exiles to run sabotage raids on Castro. I tracked Ayers down to a small town in Wisconsin and emailed him stills of Morales and another guy I found suspicious, a man who's pictured entering the ballroom from the direction of the pantry moments after the shooting, clutching a small container to his body and being waved toward an exit by a Latin associate. Ayers' response was instant. He was 95% sure that the first figure was Morales, and equally sure that the other man was Gordon Campbell, who worked alongside Morales at J.M. Wave in '63 and was Ayers' case officer shortly before the assassination of JFK. I put my script aside and flew to the U.S. to interview key witnesses for a documentary on the unfolding story. In person, Ayers positively identified Morales and Campbell and introduced me to David Rayburn, a freelance operative who was part of the Bay of Pigs invasion force in '61 and was at the Ambassador Hotel that night. He didn't know Morales and Campbell by name, but saw them talking to each other in the lobby before the shooting and assumed they were Kennedy's security people. He also saw Campbell around police stations 3 or 4 times in the year before Robert Kennedy was shot. This was odd. The CIA had no domestic jurisdiction, and Morales was stationed in Laos in '68. With no Secret Service protection for presidential candidates in those days, Kennedy was guarded by unarmed Olympic decathlete champion Rayford Johnson and football tackler Rosie Greer, no match for an expert assassination team. Trawling through microfilm of the police investigation, I found further photographs of Campbell with a third figure standing center stage in the Ambassador Hotel hours before the shooting. He looked Greek, and I suspected he might be George Ioannidis, Chief of Psychological Warfare Operations at J.M. Wave. Ioannidis was called out of retirement in 1978 to act as the CIA liaison of the House Select Committee on Assassinations investigating the death of JFK. Ed Lopez, now respected lawyer at Cornell University, came into close contact with Ioannidis when he was a young law student working for the committee. We visit him and show him the photograph. He's 99% sure it's Joanides. When I tell him where it was taken, he's not surprised. If these guys decided you were bad, they acted on it, he said. We moved to Washington to meet Wayne Smith, a State Department official for 25 years, who knew Morales well at the U.S. Embassy in Havana in 1959 and 60. When we show him the video in the ballroom, his response is instant, "That's him, that's Morales." He remembers Morales at a cocktail party in Buenos Aires in 75, saying Kennedy got what was coming to him. Is there a benign explanation for his presence? For Kennedy's security, maybe? Smith laughs. Morales is the last person you'd want to protect Bobby Kennedy. He says he hated the Kennedys, blaming their lack of air support for the failed Bay of Pigs invasion in 61. We meet Clarence in a hotel room near CIA headquarters. He doesn't want to go on camera and brings a friend, which is a little unnerving. Clarence remembers Dave fondly. The guy in the video looks like Morales, but it isn't him, he says. The guy is fatter, and Morales walked with more of a slouch and his tie down. To me, the guy in the video does walk with a slouch and his tie is down. Clarence says he knew Joanides and Campbell. It's not them either. But he fondly remembers Ayers bringing snakes into JM Wave to scare the secretaries and seems disturbed at Smith's identification of Morales. He doesn't discourage our investigation and suggests others who might be able to help. A seasoned journalist cautions that he would expect Clarence to blow smoke, and yet it seems his honest... doesn't discourage our investigation and suggests others who might be able to help. A seasoned journalist cautions that he would expect Clarence to blow smoke, and yet it seems his honest option. As we leave L.A., I tell the immigration officer that I'm doing a story on Bobby Kennedy. She has seen the ads for the new Emilio Estevez movie about the assassination, Bobby. What do you think? We need to explain what they were doing there. Lopez believes the CIA should call in, interview everybody who knew them, disclose whether they were on a CIA operation, and if not, why they were there that night. Today, meaning, let's see, a Monday. Monday would have been Bobby Kennedy's 81st birthday. The world is crying out for a compassionate leader like him. If dark forces were behind his elimination, it needs to be investigated, to which I would say...
Absolutely correct, sir.
But, of course, it won't be, because it's always the convenient lone assassin. It's Lee Harvey Oswald, it's Sirhan, etc., and so on. Isn't that correct?
That's what they say.
1,263 votes on the poll. When Neil rips religion, I love it, 549. It's interesting, 317. I turn the radio up, 259. I hate this poll, 64. See, now we're up to 46, and I hate it, 28. Well, I'll tell you one thing. It's a damn good thing they had a really solid number there, 4-6. I mean, I think that matches what we had back in whenever. And that's men 18 plus. Men 25, 54. See, the young punks from Y100, they came over to listen to Kenny. And you can just imagine if they were doing like a real morning show instead of they could probably do like 7s and 8s. You follow what I'm saying?
I do.
If we didn't have all those sports segments in there. But then again, that's just, that's just the George factor, the anti-sports factor. And like Bo Camper says, we're the anti-sports crowd. You just keep putting Ira on there, baby. And every now and then, like, what's his name? There with the Herb's Whitman Longstreet, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, whatever his name is.
That's him.
The Longfellow. I'll tell you one thing. If they keep telling stories about that kid at Michigan State being better than Brady Quinn, I'm shutting the thing off.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
My dancing monkey.
I killed Nicole. Hi. This here by O.J. Simpson. And I here tell you a little bit about my book called If I Did It. That don't mean I done it, but I wanted to call it the way I should have done it. Maybe it'd be better if I say I do it. But I was acquitted of the jury of my peers. But that don't make me guilty or nothing. Now I can say what I want to say. And ain't nothing you can do about it. What the hell I should have called the book? That's right, I did it. And now, what you going to do? They're going to be interviewing me on Fox Television. It's going to be the biggest viewing audience ever. I know you're going to be watching. You better, or I'll kill you.
It's 12:44, 16 to 1 at 560 WQM. We're going to start on Monday having a whole bunch of sports segments on, man.
You could do it.
Turn this whole thing around. Because you'll notice that we're not, like, connecting anymore with the... or maybe we are. Maybe we just got that audience, and that's all we got.
Want me to start booking some guests for you?
Yeah, start booking some guests for Monday, okay? I'd like to have Duffy Doherty on. We can talk about the old days, 2 yards in a cloud of dust at Michigan State. And then we could have Art Schwarm on from the Michigan State basketball team from 1961. He used to look good back then. Of course, now he's a doddering old man. Then we can have Brady Quinn on for about an hour and a half. Either that, or I think we're going to start taking a lot of calls, as in right now. Do you think that's a good idea? I'm sure Miguel does.
Well, not right now.
Well, what do you mean we're not right now? Why not? Here's one right here. QAM. See?
Well, not right now.
Well, what do you mean we're not right now? Why not? Here's one right here. QAM. See?
Oh, there's one.
Oh, don't do that one. You know
no, I'm
who
not
that
doing that one. I already know what that one's going to be.
Yes.
1,279 votes on the poll. I'll tell you one thing. If that's the barometer of how we're doing, man, we are kicking some...
What's the market for something like that?
Kill that crap. What, did you punch that up or did I do it?
No, I dropped it.
Oh. See, this thing isn't connected. It's not hooked up. Just one moment, please.
I'm with you, sir.
Are you with me?
I'm with you, sir.
What
a holiday treat this is.
Is it really so you can hear yourself on the radio? I would agree with that.
No, just be able to speak to you and thank you again for all the years. I will always appreciate you.
Well, thank you so much.
And I'm glad you're doing well up there. I don't know what the numbers are, but as far as I'm concerned, you can wipe your behind with it. In the English-speaking community, you are the pulse of this town, okay?
I'm the pulse. That's why the community is on the verge. Get the oxygen out. Okay, have a great Thanksgiving, Pally. Let's see, is this thing working? I don't know, because I punched it up and the arrow didn't come on. It was like maybe a delayed reaction or something. Maybe because I haven't used it so long, you know. When you don't use it for a long time, it just kind of like stays there limp. You know what I mean?
A little dusty.
Yeah, get a little musty and old. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Excellent.
How's everything going over there?
Great. Let me say it again. Excellent.
Excrement?
Excrement, yeah. Excellent.
How's everything going over there?
Great. Let me say it again. Excellent.
Excrement?
Excrement, yeah.
Oh, same old crowd.
Yeah, same old crap is right. You had the word for it. Well, there's that button. Now let me reach over and show you. He's nursing his injury, his bad knee, or whatever he's got. 1,282 votes on the poll on the day before Thanksgiving. I think we're doing just fine. You see the way that those phones were smoking there for a minute or two? Did you see? Fine. You know, the one guy kissed my ass, and the other guy said something about crap, and then whatever the other one was. You know, that was great.
Just stay away from line 9. I think we'll be good.
Hi. After 9 months of investigation and still no arrest, the parents of Martin Lee Anderson accused fat-ass Governor Jeb Bush and the Tampa State Attorney's Office this week of covering up months ago, when he told them he would demand that the case was resolved before he left office in January. He could have done more than what he's doing, a lot more, said Jones, whose 14-year-old son died January 6th after being punched, kneed, and suffocated with ammonia capsules by guards. The incident was captured on videotape. He said. In Anderson's death, however, no one's been fired, no one's been transferred, no one's been arrested, she said. And she's got an excellent point. But then again, your fat-ass governor don't care. He was too whipped up about Terry and her because he was doing his fake religious crap, speaking of our poll today. His pseudo-religious garbage with his dysfunctional freaking family. But he's still mighty popular, and I'll guarantee you that if the law permitted him to run for another term, he would win hands down your pants. Am I right about that? You bet.
Yes.
1,295 votes. Do you understand that by 1,300 military time, we're going to have 1,300 votes? We got 1,295. On the day before Thanksgiving, something for us to be extra thankful for. And the audience can be really thankful that we took some calls today. And I thought it was rather painless, didn't you?
Yeah. Not too bad.
Oh, this place. It just amazes the hell out of me, these people. You know, they could be running like a Chinese laundry, and it would be the same thing. That's how much they have to do with radio. But nevertheless, those checks keep coming. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a big fat one on Friday in the mail. Because Friday will be payday since the 25th is on Saturday. And since tomorrow's a holiday, you can be damn sure that our crack accounting staff in between doing...
Yeah, that'd be good.
I didn't say to whom. I just said I better send out some money.
Oh.
I'll take care of it. You're saying it's not like 40th or 50th. It's not an even year. But every year since then, they've at least made some notice about it, you know? Now we're just supposed to forget. Somebody might notice that? No. We're busy worried about bombing Ahmadinejad. None of them is foolproof, but we're always better off when we build higher levels of security. Here it is. Charlie Rangel and Tom Jefferson agree on a national service program. Tom Hartman put an entry on our MySpace page there with his little picture and a whole song and a dance.
Very nice.
How do you like that? Tom Hartman's listened to our show and heard me reading one of his articles on the air and, commended me highly. I thought maybe he'd be bitching me out.
Nice.
How do you like that? Tom Hartman's listened to our show and heard me reading one of his articles on the air and, commended me highly. I thought maybe he'd be bitching me out.
Why would he
Which
do
I
that?
didn't have to mention that he's on Air America. See, I'm not one of those people that's all panicky about, oh, gee, Mancow is on now. Big stogies, and they're domino games, and they're listening to Radio Mambi and all that other swill. No speaking English.
La Grande.
Exactly, whatever that crap is. So that's why when we get to 2554, well, I'll tell you, it's a good thing it's WW. I'm going to find me a good machine this afternoon. That's right. My premonition was, I knew some heavy-duty crap. 1,300 votes on the poll.
Oh!
It's not even 1 o'clock yet. It's 12:56 for those who are keeping track. Well, isn't it nice that Kenny and Bo had that good month? Because I know you guys are really rooting for them very hard.
Absolutely.
Yes, I am rooting for them, actually.
I am, too. Even though the audience is going to say, oh, no, you keep saying it's a sport show. Well, it is. They be doing, they're doing just fine. I'm going to butt out. At least they got a number in there, a really good one, which is up from a 281409, a 46 in October. That is really
rock solid.
Good going, boys.
I need all you guys to do good.
So, the 2 hour.
Carol Tewksbury of Sandusky, Ohio. Come on down, the next contestant on the Price is Right.
Oh my God, I am so excited, Ozzy.
Right now, this game is called Pinko. You take it to a hockey puck and he's been let it fall down this f***ing wall of needles, yeah. And if you're lucky,
Honey.
I don't believe it.
I always loved that Ozzy, he ain't no Bob Barker, but then again, thank God for the good bleeps in that bit, though, you know what?
That's right.
1311 on the poll, man. We could get to 14 by 2 o'clock, and then we'll feel like, then we'll have something to be thankful for on Thanksgiving Day. We get to 1400. Wouldn't you feel like really we got a feather in our crap, like Ozzy would say?
Sure.
I saw the tabloids, which I didn't buy them because I'm getting too cheap in my old age.
No
but
more
I saw
Inquirer
one of them
for you? No more Inquirer for you?
I'm gonna, I'll get them. But Bob Barker is, well, whatever. When you get to be 110 like Bob is, we're getting ready for a long nap of the dirt variety. 103 at 560 WQM. Don't forget Curtis for Mad Dog at 2. We don't want to, overdo it. Narcotics officers were justified in returning. Neighbors and relatives said it was a case of mistaken identity, but police said the woman identified as Catherine Johnston was the only resident in the house at the time and lived there for about 17 years. Assistant Chief Alan Dreyer said the officers had a legal warrant and knocked and announced before they forced open the door. He said they were justified in shooting once they were fired upon. As the plainclothes Atlanta police officers approached the house about 7 p.m. Monday, workmen and a woman inside started shooting once they were fired upon. As the plainclothes Atlanta police officers approached the house about 7 p.m. Monday, workmen and a woman inside started shooting, striking each of them, said Officer Joe Cobb, a police spokesman. And again, no relation to Eddie Cobb.
Ty Cobb.
Or Jackie Cobb, or Ty Cobb, or Cornana. Joe Cobb especially. One was hit in the arm, another in the thigh, and a third in the shoulder. The officers were taken to hospital for treatment, all three conscious and alert. Sarah Dozier, identified as a niece of the woman, told WAGA-TV in Atlanta there were never any drugs at the house. My aunt was in good health. I'm sure she panicked when they kicked down that door. There was no reason they had to go in there and shoot her down like a dog, she said. Well, who the hell wants to shoot a dog anyway? Why do people always use that expression? There are a lot of stupid expressions. They shot her like a dog. Well, what the hell does that mean? Or they treated her like a dog,
Maybe they're from China.
Is that what it is? I don't know what the hell the deal is with like that, because I think dogs ought to be treated pretty well. They're pretty good to us, most of them, except the really nasty, mean ones like the one you got.
What do you mean?
Didn't you say you got a pit bull or something like that?
Well, it's my brother's dog. I lived with it. I have another dog now. I bought a Basenji. You know what those are?
Oh yeah, they're cute. Widow dogs.
Oh, well, not that. They're like 30 pounds.
How much?
About 30, man.
Wow. Must be getting chubby just like you. Robert Shear writes, in the shadow of Ho Chi Minh. Yeah, I think Monday I'm going to, all calls, I'm going to do just the opposite, and I'm not going to read any stories. How does that strike you?
A pile of calls?
A pile. No, actually what I'll do on Friday, because tomorrow we got although I shouldn't tip my hand on this, because we got the poll for tomorrow already up there and all set to go. And thanks whoever sent that in, it's a good one, because the N-word is back again, The N-word is back in the news again. But on Friday, maybe we'll take a poll about the calls. I really never thought I would let the audience influence and I probably still won't anyway. I'll do whatever the hell I want to do. I'll sleep on it. I'll think about it. I'll cogitate. Robert Shear writes, in the shadow of Ho Chi Minh, President Bush has said many dumb things in defense of his Iraq policy, citing the Vietnam War as a model, however, as perhaps his most ludicrous yet. This past week found the president sitting before a bust of the victorious Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam, seemingly unaware that the U.S. lost its war with a communist-led country. Having long and vehemently denied parallels between the invasions of Vietnam and Iraq, he nevertheless admitted now to seeing one. Yes, Bush said, one lesson is that we tend to want to be there that want there to be instant success in the world, and the task in Iraq is just going to take a long period of time for the ideology that is hopeful, and that's an ideology of freedom to overcome an ideology of hate, will succeed unless we quit, whatever any of that all means. Bush seems not to have noticed that we succeeded in Vietnam precisely because we did quit the military occupation of that nation, permitting an ideology of freedom to overcome one of hate. Bush's rhetoric is frighteningly reminiscent of Richard Nixon's escalation and expansion of the Vietnam War in an attempt to buy an honorable exit with the blood of millions of Southeast Asians and thousands of American soldiers. In the end, a decade of bitter fighting did not prevent an ignominious U.S. departure from Saigon. Now, however, Vietnam is at peace with its neighbors and poses no security threat to the U.S. Many of the boat people have returned as investors, and successive American presidents have made visits to the second fastest-growing economy in Asia. While Vietnam is still run by its Communist Party, eventually post-war leaders on both sides have accepted that peace is practical. The lesson of Vietnam is not Vietnamese nationalist resolve. Hundreds of thousands of troops, massive defoliation of the countryside, free fire zones, South Vietnamese allies, bombing the harbors, none of it worked. Yet never admitting that our blundering military presence fueled the native nationalist militancy we supposedly sought to eradicate, 3 U.S. presidents, 2 of them Democrats, lied themselves into believing victory was around some mythical corner. While difficult for inveterate hawks to admit, the victory for normalcy in Vietnam, celebrated by Bush last week, came about not despite the U.S. withdrawal, but because of it. Iraq and Vietnam are not the same country, yet both have long experience with imperial meddling and fiercely resist it. Bush has said Iraq is in many ways religious in nature, and I don't see the parallels to Vietnam, but that's just another sign that he probably cut most of his history classes at Yale. He, and apparently the mass media as well, seems to have forgotten that the U.S. tried to stoke a religious war in Vietnam by intervening to install a Roman Catholic exile in power in this primarily Buddhist country. The struggle to overthrow the U.S. puppet dictator Ngo Dinh Diem began with Buddhist monks immolating themselves on the streets of Saigon. To be sure, there followed a decade of constant talk about bringing democracy to the country we had occupied. At least Chalabi is still alive to complain, as he did to the New York Times this month, that the Americans sold us out. And he don't have wooden teeth, by the way. But the final collapse of our puppet regime in Vietnam did not produce the domino effect of other nations surrendering to communism any more than U.S. withdrawal from Iraq will inevitably lead to the spread of terrorism. This is why the wiser voices in the Bush dynastic circle, Daddy Bush's cleanup crew led by James Baker, are calling for involving Syria and Iran in the effort to stabilize Iraq. Iran is host to a summit with Iraq and other nations in the area, while on Monday Syria and Iraq resumed long-broken diplomatic relations. The lesson of the Vietnam debacle is that yesterday's enemy is more likely to become today's... Wouldn't you say? Just like the Arabs and the Israelis, man. If they want to kill each other, kaks ahoy, have a great time. We'll send you back you a salami sandwich. Kosher. Just like the Arabs and the Israelis, man. If they want to kill each other, kaks ahoy, have a great time. We'll send you back you a salami sandwich. Kosher. On rye. Halal. 1,318 votes. I bet you both of you, see these guys are in a state of shock right now because of what I said about the calls?
I really am.
I did. We apologize. No, it's just that what are we going to do about it? The thing keeps cutting out.
I'm going to have to talk to engineering. Eric called earlier and said that there's a problem.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How come you didn't tell me that?
It must have slipped my mind.
Oh, yeah. 129 dropouts. That means that, like every other word, I think it sounds like sabotage on the before Thanksgiving. Wouldn't surprise me knowing that engineering department. No, probably Clarence is in there. He's probably got his finger in it. He's got one finger in the equipment and the other in his rectum. I'm sure of that. Heck of a job there, Clarence, man. You are really doing it. I'm sure he's in there with Joe right now saying, don't listen to that old fag. He doesn't know anything about sports. Right. What I have forgotten about sports, you could make an encyclopedia about it. And if I ever remembered it, I'd be really dangerous. See, to me, sports is like fun. It's a diversion. There's perversion and there's diversion. It's a diversion. It's fun to watch a ball game. I like my football on Sunday. I like my hockey every now and then. I wouldn't be surprised if we got hockey games on the air here right now. You know what?
Thornton in NHL scoring. And if you're a Washington Capitals fan...
See right there. If you're a Washington Capital fan, good luck to you. That's all I would say. If you're a Washington Capital fan, we'll get you some mental help. But there you go, little sports. In fact, maybe what we'll do, instead of taking calls on Monday, we'll start doing a sports show.
The biggest names, the best talent. All right. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Hi, this is Brady Quinn. I like to shave my legs, arms, and buns while listening to the Neil Rogers 1 to 2 hour.
Hamburgues de boca son hechos de testículos,
jumped in a taxi cab. I said, driver, Central Park. He looked at me. I went down to Miami Beach where the weather is nice and sunny. I walked into a liquor store, but the guy there talks real funny. I asked him for a pint of old Jim Beam. He says, no entiendo. What does that mean? Nobody speaks English anymore. At the corner deli. Hell, I think I'm in Pakistan. Speak English, smelly. Or you can go back to Iran. I came here many years ago. Learned my ABCs. I don't say muchas gracias. I say pretty please. So get yourself to a classroom quick. You're in America now. Stop making me sick. Nobody speaks English anymore.
No speaking English aquí, baby. That's South Florida for you. And, of course, more and more. Every one of these. We got the Colombian station on now. Pretty soon we'll have the Mexican station and the Bolivian station and the Paraguayan station.
And then all those people will get the books and they'll have numbers.
They get all the diaries. And, of course, do they put us down? No chance. Especially them old domino-playing Julios. Like Miguel's relatives.
Yeah, they don't like you.
Too bad. Hubman and Dreard. 118 at 560 WQM. I'm going to, do whatever I feel like doing. In other words, when I come in on Monday morning and do the show, I'll do whatever I feel like, whatever the mood strikes me, you know? In other words, after 100 years of doing this in this market, I got something to prove. Do you follow what I'm saying?
Oh, I follow.
Good. Then screw them. Speaking of screw them, the latest proposed site for a new Florida Marlins baseball park, oh boy, has drawn praise from some and skepticism from others, but no pledges of new money to fund construction. Talk about a pipe dream, man. Put it in your pipe and smoke it. Put it in your bong and stick it in your
tube
or in your
rectum
and smoke it. Like in that movie that we all saw that was so good. You know, I didn't realize it, but I actually recorded that.
What?
Hostile?
Hostile. I recorded it because I never thought it was on real late.
Well, now you can
2
watch
nights
it again.
ago. I did watch parts of it again.
So you like
it?
You're semi-bashing it, but you like it.
Yeah, it was okay. It had its moments. Did I say that I regretted watching her, that it was a real piece of crap? I just said it was like really blood and guts, and and it wasn't really well done. It wasn't well thought out. It could have been developed a lot more, but nevertheless, I'm sure George must have seen it, wouldn't you? Because it was about.
He saw it.
Yeah. What did he think?
I do believe he did not like it, if I remember correctly.
Really? Well, mark that down on your wrist. We'll discuss that with George on Monday in between phone calls. Some of Dade's top officials are optimistic that a new downtown stadium site could plan. In fact, we'll talk to some movie critics, books and movie critics on the air. In fact, what's his name, the one that died? The one that we liked? Siskel, Gene Siskel.
Oh,
no,
Siskel.
Ebert didn't die, unfortunately. Some of Dade's top officials are optimistic that a new downtown stadium site could plant the Marlins in the heart of the city, but financing its construction remains a major hurdle. Just north of the Stephen P. Clark Center, the 9-acre site will give baseball fans easy access to existing parking lots, commuter rail, and I-95. It's also just blocks from 2 other top entertainment destinations, the American Airlines Arena and the Carnival Center for Performing Parts. 134 dropouts on that. We apologize profusely. Anybody trying to listen online, it's a mess. Nothing we can do about it. Well, we got the engineering working on it. Are they working on it?
No.
No. What did I tell you? We really think this can work, said County Manager George Burgess, but even as details emerged yesterday, some county commissioners said the site is too small and they're worried of moving a juvenile courthouse planned for the same spot. It's kind of like Stu Barnes and the Panthers. He's too small. That's what the spokesman said. I thought I saw a putty cat. Moreover, no one involved in the deal, including the team, the county, and the city of Miami, committed to chip in more money to close a funding gap of $90 million or more. I think Joel Feinberg will put up that money, and then he can have the Marlin broadcasts. Isn't that a good idea? It's premature for any of us to be talking about numbers, said Miami Mayor Manny Diaz, and if it's only a $90 million shortfall, Manny's son can print up the counterfeit money to pay the bill, wouldn't you think? Mm-hmm. Probably print that up in one day. The Marlins lease at Dolphin Stadium runs through 2010, at which point the team wants to move to a new retractable roof stadium, and we want to have $1 million in our backyard, too, in small bills, but that's not going to happen, is it?
No.
The club hasn't ruled out relocation, but has not pursued it since talks with San Antonio ended in May. They're going to San Antonio like I'm going to Copenhagen in about 5 minutes. They do have a lot of 7-Elevens in Copenhagen, though, with some real good pizza. And some real hot people working behind the counter, by the way. A team spokesman declined to discuss the new site. We continue to look at all our options in South Florida. This is just one of them, said P.J. Loyello, Senior Vice President for Communications and Broadcasting for the Marlins. Is that Loyello or Loyello?
Loyello.
Do you know who that is?
Yes.
And what we got to do with him? Oh, that's right. We must have something to do with him because he's with the Marlins, and we carry the Marlin games on his station much at our expense. And we lose our ass on him, and we're really pissed off about it. County government has offered previously to spend $120 million for a new stadium, and the team was willing to spend about $210 million. That was still far short, way short, of the estimated cost, projected at $420 million earlier this year, and likely going up as construction cost increase. Mayor Diaz, however, hinted that his government may be willing to help, an offer that many thought had died late last year. He has said he always loved the idea of an urban site. Didn't everyone want to go downtown to see the Marlins?
No.
Downtown Miami? We've never left the table, despite what many have said, Diaz said yesterday. Major League Baseball has always known that. Local leaders hope to coax the state legislature into providing some cash. Previous efforts have failed, but South Floridians are playing more powerful roles in Tallahassee next year. Other sites are still being discussed, including one near I-75 in Hialeah. Oh, God, do we want to go to Hialeah or what?
Oh, boy.
And another just south of the Miami Arena. Oh, yeah. Probably right next to where the Camilla's house used to be. But both, however, require purchasing some privately held land, which would drive up the cost of the overall project. At the new downtown site, all the land is government-owned, mostly owned by the county, with a small piece held by the city. The city's got a small piece. In fact, if you ask me, the city of Miami is a piece. Both Metro Mover and Metro Rail stop at the Clark Center, connecting these sites and neighborhoods from Dayland to Hialeah. Ann Burgess said the ballpark would be served by numerous parking lots, restaurants, and stores that otherwise empty out when the business day ends. It's an urban ballpark, which generally has been successful from Major League Baseball's perspective, Burgess said. But it's smaller than Dolphins Stadium. County Commissioner Joe Martinez described it as very, very tight, probably just like his
rectum
ass. I'm not sold on the location, he said. The site was exciting on the computer, but when I saw it in person, I wasn't that excited. Go get him excited, Miguel.
I'll try.
Joe Martinez. Everybody in Dade County, their name ends in a Z. Am I right or what?
Martinez, Diaz.
And half of the people, and Rodriguez, half of the people in Broward now. That's why nobody's speaking English. The plan will also require closing a child care center attached to the Clark Center and closing or rerouting one or two roads. And it goes on, but more pipe dreams, baby. Let us know when you got when the shovel is in the ground, okay? I mean, you can get a shovel out for this stuff right now, but what they're shoveling is a little bit different story.
Downtown
Let us know when you stick the first shovel full of dirt in there to start building this stadium. Are you holding your breath?
No.
We love the Marlins. And, of course, there's no interest there either. You know, this is a community where we have a bunch of people trying desperately to prove that, hey, we're Major League, baby. We got all 4 professional sports. Major League, right. By the way, when is that? I beg your pardon?
Got the NBA champs.
Yeah, they're really kicking ass.
And we got the Hurricanes. The same way.
We got the Hurricanes who are going to lose their 7th game of the season tomorrow against Boston College. We got that game right here on Thanksgiving Day on QM. I guess we better give the schedule for tomorrow, since we're not going to be here. We got nobody working tomorrow, and that's as it should be. I mean, the idea that anybody should have to work on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, guess what?
What?
I have to work tomorrow.
You do? Doing what?
I have to be at the game.
At what game? The Hurricane game?
Yeah.
Doing what? Giving out condolence cards?
We're out there broadcasting live.
With the crying towel? Let's have some QM crying towels so we can hear from some of them Hurricane fans. We're losing all our games. Too bad. We got ESPN radio on 5 to 8 in the morning. In fact, we got it on all night, from 2 in the morning till 8 in the morning. In other words, we give up. Isn't that what that means?
Yeah, we're waving the
8
flag.
to 10 tomorrow morning, it's Dolphins Monday Replay, which I have no idea what that is. How do we have a Monday Replay? Who's on that?
Dolphins Monday. So whatever was on Monday during Kenny and Bo.
Yeah, that's Kenny and Bo with Lamar Thomas and T-Buck. That's Dolphins Monday.
10 o'clock, we got the real pregame show till 12:30. Then 12:30 to 3:30, we got the ESPN radio, because obviously the game is on, which we don't have. Then we got the real postgame show with the big...
rock solid.
After the game finally ends. Then we got Hurricane Game Day at 4:30. Now we're really talking, man. It gets really gamey.
Yep. Live from the Orange Bowl.
Canes and the Boston College at 7:30 tomorrow night. 5 and 7, man, as Larry Cokehead coaches his last game. And I use the word coaches very loosely with the Hurricanes. And Hurricanes extra point at 11 o'clock tomorrow night. And then we go to ESPN Radio again overnight. Thank God for ESPN Radio.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is
Kills a lot of good time, baby.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Clarence!
First, Fox brought you the classiest TV show of the year, O.J. Simpson. If I Did It, here's how it happened.
So then I stabbed her over and over again while I screamed, die, die. If I can't have you, nobody can. I mean, that's how I would have done it.
Now, Fox follows up that triumph with another significant, revealing portrait. Dick Cheney. If I Did It, here's how it happened.
So, Mr. Cheney, how would you do it?
It was easy. I would pretend, oh, you're going to love this. I would pretend I was just shooting at quail, and then I would blow that lawyer's face right off. He owed me money, you know.
Sir, I meant, how did you start the war in Iraq?
Oh, well, I told the president, I bet you can't finish what your daddy started. What are you, a mommy's boy? Oh, by the way, here's some fake weapons of mass destruction evidence. I mean, that's how I would have done it.
Dick Cheney. If I Did It, here's how it happened. That's only on Fox. We'll run anything.
132 at 560 WQM. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. We hope you don't overeat tomorrow and stay alive. You'll never believe what I already played one of them. Wait till you hear this.
This is Brady Quinn. Whenever I shave my balls, I listen to the Neil Rogers 12 to 1 hour.
How do you like that?
Okay.
Oh, you got it? Can't stand it. 1,352 votes. That shows you what a real fag I am, man. The fact that I could ever root for Notre Dame just makes me want to vomit. It's embarrassing, you know what? Do you believe me that it's embarrassing? No, I don't care. When Neil rips religion, I love it. 592. 43.7% love it. And the religion, too. It's interesting. 332. I don't even know what the hell that means. It's interesting? Do you know what that means? I mean, I put it on there, but I don't know what it means.
You have an interesting point of view.
No. I turned the radio up to 176 just to annoy all my Farbisson friends out there, all those Getchkis who are sitting there with their Bibles and rubbing their rosary beads and their mezuzahs and their their crucifixes. I hate this poll, 5%. See, it went up another tenth of a point. Good thing we're not on till midnight. 68 said, I hate this poll today. I turn it off when Neil talks religion, when he rips it, 50, and I hate it, 34. I hate it. So that's like, up to 6.1%. Too bad. Anybody out there thinks I'm changing that tune, man, you are dreaming. You're living in a fantasy world. And, of course, if you believe the religious crap, you're definitely already living in a fantasy world. Am I right about that? Yes.
Yes.
You're going to like this story. Maybe you won't. You won't pay any attention to it any more than the other ones. But it's about my new hero. Maybe you don't like him, and I'm not talking about Brady Quinn. Senator Barack Obama.
Why wouldn't I like him?
I don't know. Do you like him?
I think he's just fine.
No. When Senator Barack Obama slipped into Senator Robert Byrd's Capitol office one day last year, he was seeking counsel from an elder who had been in the Senate since before Obama was born. Senators these days, Byrd cautioned the young Illinois Democrat, become fixated on the White House. I remember the advice Obama said matter-of-factly in an interview with the Associated Press last week, the importance of senators staying in the Senate. Obama's been in the Senate less than 2 years. Now he's thinking of running for president. Presumptuous? In a country of 300 million people, he said with a laugh, there's a certain degree of audacity required for anybody to say, I'm the best person to lead this country. He's not saying that yet, but plenty of people want him to, and he probably will make up his mind in the next few weeks. It's hard to fathom Obama's meteoric rise in politics. 3 years ago, he was little known, a black state senator with an interesting family history and impressive academic credentials. Now polls show him as the top alternative to Senator Swillery Rodham Clinton in the early chase for the Democratic presidential nomination. No matter that neither senator has announced intention to run. As if we don't know that she's running? Right. 2 years ago, Obama gave the keynote address at the Democratic National Convention. Since then, he's taken a high-profile trip to Africa, campaigned vigorously for congressional candidates, published a second best-selling book, acknowledged that he's considering a run for the White House. On Monday, Obama made a speech on Iraq at the Council of Foreign Relations, a requisite stop for prominent politicians seeking to showcase their foreign policy chops. Clinton spoke to the group last month. Both she and Obama have embraced phased withdrawal of U.S. troops that's tied to specific benchmarks rather than a time. I don't know how you change the course without sending a strong signal to the Iraqi government that we're not going to maintain a permanent presence in the midst of civil war, he said in the interview. Obama, 45, clearly benefits from his rapid rise. He's not burdened by a lengthy Senate voting record. This year's election made him a prize campaign draw, exposing him to crowds across the country and earning useful chits from candidates in states key to the presidential hunt. That's chits.
What's that? Yeah.
With a CH. Chits.
Say it again.
As in you're full of crap. Senator Dick Durbin, the senior senator from Illinois and the number 2 Senate Democrat, urged Obama to hit the hustings in Iowa, home to the first presidential caucuses. As a result of those visits, Durbin said, I think more people in Iowa are interested in his thought process about the future. Obama is consulting with some experienced political strategists. Among them are Chicago-based David Axelrod, a senior advisor to John Edwards' 2004 presidential campaign, David Plouffe, a former aide to House Democratic leader Dick Gebhardt, and Steve Hildebrand, who ran Vice President Al Gore's campaign in Iowa in 2000. Other potential Democratic candidates, however, are further along. Clinton's got millions left from her easy re-election campaign in New York this year. Senator John Kerry of Massachusetts has also got millions in hand from his 2004 presidential race. Iowa Governor Tom Vilsack already has set up his campaign committee. Political operatives and fundraisers predict that a candidate who wants to be credible as a presidential hopeful must have at least $20 million in the bank by June. Obama's a proven fundraiser, amassing nearly $15 million in his 2004 Senate race and more than $4 million for his political action committee. If he decides to run, he can put the money together. He can attract the talent, Axelrod said. Barack Hussein, his middle name is Hussein.
He's done.
Barack Hussein Obama Jr. is the son of a Kenyan father, can you believe it, and a white mother. He offers himself as a cross-generational politician who wants to move beyond the fallout from the 60s and break the conventional left and right, liberal conservative pigeonholes of American politics. I wonder what Michael Richards would have to say to him. Both the 60s revolution and the subsequent backlash ended up locking us into an either-or debate on almost every issue, he said. Either you were pro-military or anti-military. You were pro-traditional family, or somehow you were against traditional family. The American people living their lives have a much more complex view of these issues. Obama is from a new generation of black politicians. He's not a product of the civil rights movement like Jesse Jackson, but his identity as a black man is prominent. A photograph of Martin Luther King Jr., a portrait of Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall, and images from the civil rights era hang from his office walls. They hang from his orifice. The most conspicuous item in his office is a set of red boxing gloves autographed by Muhammad Ali, set against the photo backdrop of Ali taunting a fallen Sonny Liston during the 1965 rematch. The office mementos serve as Obama's personal touchstone to an era of profound change. The 60s, he acknowledged, were a transformative period in this country. The November 7th elections that shifted control of Congress to the Democrats also helped him expand his areas of expertise in decidedly presidential elections. Already a member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee and Veterans Affairs Committee, Obama asked for and received seats on the Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs and the Health, Education, Labor, and Pension Committees. All of these things. Senator Richard Lugar, an Indiana Republican and current chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee, has become something of a mentor to Obama. The senators have traveled to the former Soviet Union together and sponsored legislation on non-proliferation of conventional weapons and on fuel economy. Lugar also has a special insight, having run for president himself in 1996 while still in the Senate. Lugar said, I found in my own experience, if you want one to do well, you probably better decide which one, if you want to do one well, Senate or run for president. In the book, Audacity of Hope, Obama displays a candid self-awareness about the reality and limits of his political appeal. I'm new enough on the political national scene that I serve as a blank screen on which people of vastly different political stripes project their own views, he wrote. Or as Democratic policy strategist Will Marshall of the centrist Progressive Policy Institute put it, voters want to know what lodestars presidential candidates steer by. That's something that a relative newcomer like Obama has not yet had a chance to convey. Don't you want to know what lodestar he operates by?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like a load to me. So that's the skinny there on Barack Obama. He's your next president, by the way. I'm telling you that right now. Either him or Elliot Spitzer could be the dark horse. And I know you're saying who? As in Jew? Rhymes with Jew. So what do you think would be more difficult, a woman, a black, or a Jewish president?
It's a good question.
Now, that's a good poll question. Write that one down on your other arm.
The biggest names of best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Oh, God.
And now, Danny and Bo with Drew Rosenhaus, only on Sport Hole Radio, 560 QAM.
You're on the phone, none other than Drew Rosenhaus. Thanks for joining us, Drew.
Yeah, my love.
For those that don't already know, give us a little background on yourself.
Well, I am responsible for every famous sports figure you've ever known. Since the beginning of time, I discovered Spartacus and Satchel Paige, Babe Ruth, Marv Thornberry. That was me. I discovered Lana Turner. From Lincoln on down, all the U.S. presidents, that was me. I put Neil Armstrong on the moon. In fact, it was I who invented the very phone we're talking on.
What have you done for us right here in South Florida?
I got you Randall Terry for the Dolphins. That was me.
Randall Terry. Here's his picture. Can we get a shot of that? Yeah, there he is, Randall Terry.
Yeah, we hit the big time. That's the situation.
Drew Rosenhaus, gentlemen.
Yeah, Drew Rosenhaus right here on the phone in South Florida.
Wow, what haven't you done?
Mo Howard David, that wasn't me.
Drew, can you show us your boobs?
My boobs?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see your boobs.
I'm on the phone.
That's okay. We got to make this entertaining somehow.
Sure. Here they are. These, gentlemen, are my boobs.
Nice.
That's a nice situation.
Boobs that you will only find on Drew Rosenhaus.
Drew, are they real?
The genuine article.
Tell you what, Drew, how would you like a female companion?
Well, it's no secret I like girls.
I'll introduce you to our program director.
It's a guy, isn't it?
Physically, yeah, but more girl than you know.
That's the situation, I guess.
He has very soft arms.
I'd rather rape Mo.
Thanks for joining us, Drew. We'll be back with more fake callers after these words from Glory Hole Paradise.
146, 14 till 2. We got a real challenge here. I don't think we're going to get to our 1,400 votes by 2 o'clock.
Just keep pushing it.
Yeah, push this. 1370, that means we need 30 votes in 14 minutes. Now, that's just a couple. I mean, we need 29 now. 1371. On the day before Thanksgiving, and you're pushing, you want me to push it?
Let's test this audience. See what we got.
Test your ass, okay? Are you crazy or what? Test this audience. I think that they've done a yeoman job today.
A yeoman?
On the day before Thanksgiving. The omen. It's an omen. Old man. That's me. 1,371. We're stuck on that. We need 29 votes in 13 minutes. That's like a little more than 2 a minute. I don't think we can do it. Not on the day before Thanksgiving. I think we've already, exhausted our supply. Maybe not. I mean, that would be a nice touch. Wouldn't that be a nice way to, go into the Thanksgiving holiday tomorrow?
Yes.
For people to show their thanks to us for working our brains out to try to, provide a little entertainment, information, and amusement and amazement. Wouldn't that be something? But I don't think it's going to happen. So what we're going to do, we'll just play that. Yes, it just makes me sick to my stomach. During an interview on Sunday, Senator John McCain said that homosexuality was not a defect or a sin, but emphasized that he didn't think the same-sex marriage should be legal. The possible 2008 GOP presidential contender drew the line at civil unions for gay and lesbians, but said that he thought they should have the right to enter into legal agreements. Wasn't that darn white of him? In fact, when I read this, I got the cojones to, go back to my desktop again and take a look at that. I thought, well, it's not. He said it's not a sin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I looked at it again and again. 1374, we need 26 votes in 12 minutes. Oh, boy, this is going to be right down to the wire, baby. Really tense. Can you smell the excitement? That's me farting. I don't believe gay marriage should be legal. McCain repeated, I do not believe gay marriage should be legal. He said it twice just to make sure if we missed it the first time. He said it once out of each side of his mouth. But I do believe that people ought to be able to enter into contracts, exchange powers of attorney, other ways that people who have relationships can enter into. See, powers of attorney. There we go with that crap again. McCain also said that while he didn't believe we should discriminate against anyone in the workplace, he didn't think we need specific laws that would apply necessarily to people who are gay. McCain has been criticized by many for flip-flopping on issues related to gay rights and abortion. He's a flip-flopper. In fact, he probably even wears flip-flops, wouldn't you think, an old toad like him? That's what I've been told. In 1999, the moderate version of McCain said that overturning Roe v. Wade would be dangerous for women, and he wouldn't support it even in the long term, the liberal blog Think Progress noted, which we read about yesterday. This morning on ABC, yesterday morning, McCain, now aggressively courting Alexa Jerry Falwell, expressed his unequivocal support for overturning Roe v. Wade. Didn't I read that yesterday? Yes, I did. Just in case they missed it and just in case they forgot. Since he's one of those people that a lot of people get schmoozed into because he's not Bush and he's not, they think he's very moderate. I'll tell you right now what he is, full of crap. John McCain. 1,374, 1,380. Oh, look at that. We just had a chunk come in. Can you smell it?
I told you,
Pick it up and put it in the can.
They're going to do it.
We had a chunk. 1,381. We need 19 in 11 minutes. That's not even 2 a minute. I'm going to keep refreshing this and see, but then it stops, and we have 134 dropouts, but that stopped too. Did we find out what that was all about? It was some kind of a glitch, and it was really a bitch, man. And those people trying to listen online on the day before Thanksgiving, we pissed them off. That's not a good idea, okay? Now, I see. I'm not technically that oriented. I understand how that happens.
Well, what happened of this newest episode is, remember how I told you that
1384? Yes, I'm sorry.
The guy said that it sounded really great, and we upped the bandwidth here.
Right.
Well, now we need to reduce the quality because it's so high that I guess people aren't.
Reduce the quality?
Yes. Otherwise, it's going to continue like this. So Eric says.
Well, what the hell does that mean? I don't understand the thing you just said. Reduce the quality so that it isn't all screwed up?
Right.
Do you understand that, Miguel?
I don't know what the hell.
Well, the bandwidth is too high, supposedly, Eric.
It's too hot. It's like those pictures on my desktop. They're too hot. Too hot to handle. Oh, I'd give it a shot.
More people can listen, but less quality? Is that what it is?
No.
Well, for it to sound clear, they're going to need a lot more people to listen.
What?
Huh?
What are you talking about, man? These computer people, they talk bada beep, bada boo, like in a different language, and it's a language that doesn't even exist. They're just talking caca is what they're doing. 1385, we have 9 minutes for 15 votes. If you people would put your notes to 1387, what did I tell you? It's going to go right down to the wire, right up against the edge of your ass. 1387. And it has absolutely no significance of any kind other than it would just be and that's still all day long. I've had this on there, CNN, MSNBC. There hasn't been one blurb on there about today being November 22nd, the 43rd anniversary of the assassination of John Kennedy. I mean, he was no George W. Bush.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
It stinks in Miami town. At 560 WQAM.
1395, we're 5 votes short. 4 minutes to go. Can we do it? The pressure's on, baby. Can you smell it?
Rectum.
In honor of tomorrow's tough opponent for the fish. The Finns. Squish them.
Miami has the Dolphins, and here we go again. Another losing season that's never gonna end. They never win, they never will, and I will never know why Sports Illustrated picked them to win the Super Bowl. And they're the Miami Dolphins. Boy. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number. How many teams in the league?
32.
Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. The same old story, nothing new.
Absolutely.
The Dolphins are such losers, they really are quite lame. I knew it from the very start, I watched the Pittsburgh game. And did you see the wimpy way Nick Saban threw that flag? Standing on the sidelines, he looked just like a fag. And they're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number. How many teams in the league?
32.
Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins, their problems stick to them like glue.
Yes.
The Dolphins lost to Buffalo and then beat Tennessee.
1402.
It's only by sheer luck that they pulled out a victory. And then they played the Texans. It almost made me sick.
We done it.
That stupid 2-point pass play, that bumbling onside kick, and they're the
like I said, they done
Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number. How many teams in the league?
About 30, man.
Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Orlando Mare needs new shoes. The Dolphins can't control the ball. Their running game is flat. As for their execution, well, I'd agree with that. They're always gonna blow a lead, of that you can be sure. And when they leave, the field still has the stench of cow manure. And they're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number. How many teams in the league? 32. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Give them another shot of boo. The Dolphins have no strategy, they play like idiots. Another couple games lost to the Patriots and Jets. I think they're all retarded, it's almost like they're cursed. Ask Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas which team is the worst, and they'll say, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins number, oh what the hell, 32. Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, now they're through.
I'm dying over here. Wesley Snipes for the fugitive.
Bang, bang,